Hey everyone, just real quick here at the top of the show, I wanted to let everybody know we're starting a new clips channel. Should be a link showing up top here somewhere. It's to try and find an audience that's looking for shorter content. So if you're here, you probably like the longer stuff. But if you could help us out with a sub, some likes, comment or two, might help the channel gain some initial traction. So if you can help us out, please do. And if you didn't know, live episodes are at twitch.tv/BlazeandBob, usually Friday and Saturday nights. Take it easy. Welcome to Warcraft Reloaded, a podcast brought to you by Mash Those Buttons, covering World of Warcraft Classic and its community. I am Bobby, also known as Blaze and Bob, and today we're joined by Mel, aka Melarina. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good.
Good to hear. And we are also joined by a newcomer, AngryDruid. How you doing?
Hey, good, Bob. Thank you for having me today. Glad to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you. And then we are joined by the absolute legend, ScotteJaye. How you doing?
I don't know about legend. I was a druid, but I'm not angry. So, but thank you. Yeah, I'm really pleased to be here. I will try not to be as angry as that guy.
Good.
Good deal. All right, guys. Well, just starting off on the top of the show, I'd like to remind everyone that we do stream the show live on twitch.tv/BlazeandBob. We'd like to thank my tank patrons at the top of the show too, Thick Lizzie and Talon. And if anybody else wants to help support, please check out the Patreon. Okay, so we're going to go through a couple voicemails, couple reviews, what we've been doing lately in WoW. Do a short little catch you up on some changes coming to the Varg guild, because I know some of you are interested in that. Then we got a ton of news to talk about, and then at the end we're going to talk to AngryDruid about his achievement movement. He's got a big old group that does everything every week. It's going to be concentrating a lot on helping people achieve all the achievements across the board, not just the current ones. So should be a good time. Let's just jump right in. All right, so Scotty, the last time you were on the show, we didn't do this, but we started this new thing where we have a voicemail that people can call into. And we haven't got any angry ones yet, although I'm waiting for the angry one where they tell us we're wrong about something, but
I'll do that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I thought you was offering it out. I thought you was like, oh, can you do it for me? Like, oh, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, it's a long distance number for the people in Europe. So we've got a listener trying to find a way to like facilitize the people over in Europe. But for now, the number to call is 816-866-1066. And we had a couple of them. Call in over the last week, so I thought I would play them real quick here.
Hey Bob, hey Mel. My name's Nim. Been listening to your all's podcast for a little while now. It's really kind of reinvigorated me going into the last phase of TBC, getting ready for Wrath of the Lich King. Really looking forward to playing. Hopefully see you guys around. Look forward to all the great content y'all have. Thank y'all so much for what you do, and I know myself and all the other listeners greatly appreciate it. Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Thank you for the call. And then we have one more.
Hey, Bob and Mel. This is Jonka from Man Crick. I just wanted to say that I love the show. You guys do an incredible job, going over news, upcoming content. I really enjoy your guys' little raid progress segment, just recapping and discussing all, that goes on in your raid and your guild. I find it really fascinating how other guilds operate and how they go through the content. Like I said, you guys do a great job. I really miss hearing Yip. Was stoked that he was on the episode 100, hopefully coming back again soon. You guys, bring in a bunch of fantastic guests to the show. I really love how you guys put it out weekly. I'm one of those people that I do a ton of driving for work, and it's really awesome to have that weekly podcast. Especially they've been on the longer end too. I'm not complaining. It eats up a lot of the drive, and it's a bunch of really good stuff. So just keep up the good work. It's really awesome. I just want to shout out my guild, Forgotten Souls on Man Creek, expertly ran by my pals, Arafallon and Mahiro. Again, keep up.
Thank you so much. Those mean a lot, dude. Like, I know we have a lot of people write in, but when you hear someone say it out loud, I don't know, it just means a lot. So thank you guys.
Yeah, I would like to start a movement, though. I've noticed this trend of Bob and Mel, and I think it's a little bit more appropriate to be Mel and Bob. So just, keep that in mind next time you're, thinking about things.
Can I ask a question? Is there so on that voice? Because I'll call in. I will call in. No. I'm being serious. The next episode you record, I guarantee there will be one from me. I don't care. But is there a cap? So could I record it for about an hour and a half? so it's literally just me. I'll be like, so yesterday I had porridge in the morning, didn't really like it. So the next day I tried jam in it, and that didn't work for me either. But what I did do, I went to Subway. Subway was pretty shit. So I'd probably recommend KFC. Like a really boring 90-minute voicemail.
So I have a theory that they're capped at 90 seconds because it sounded like he got cut off there, and it was exactly 1 minute 30 or whatever. So,
and he wasted 3 hours of his life on that call.
You're thinking he's still going, huh?
Yeah, he's still talking now. He's listening. He's also watching the stream, hoping that it kicks back in live.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff, though. We appreciate it. That's 816-866-1066. All right, we had a couple. What's up?
You'll have to get some. It says scam likely. It'll say Scotty likely.
Dude, I do love that new feature, though. It's so nice, man. I just got a new phone. It's the first time it popped up for me. Like, I was like, this is awesome. That scam likely thing. I'm like, what? Not even going to look at it.
My new boss was calling me for a week at work, and I didn't know it was him.
No, that's hilarious. Likely. Oh, what do you do for a living? All right, Mel. Do you want to read? These reviews real quick?
Yeah, sure. So, hold on. We have one from Apple Podcasts in Great Britain. So, Warcraft Reloaded Awesomeness. Hey guys, just a quick review to say how awesome this podcast is, and you guys are. You have completely solved my Monday work blues. I look forward to the new episode every week as the day flies by listening to you guys. The podcast has a great representation of WoW players, from the hardcore raiders to the more casual. There is something for everyone. I love the insights and tips and tricks you and your guests provide on the show. Thanks for your time and effort. Please keep up the brilliant work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Was that you, Scotty? I see it came from Great Britain.
Yeah, that sounds just like Scotty.
It was definitely me. I listen to you guys all the time, but I love the fact that you invited me back. I was shocked. I mean, I do wonder sometimes about your sanity, but I do. When you said, like, do you want to come on, I was thinking, hang on, mate, was you there the last time I was here? But no, we went on holiday. When I say holiday, we went away for the weekend on Friday, and we listened to your last episode while we was driving there. Nice. It's great listening material. I love it. So I'm always honored to get excited, you know, to get invited back. But I do feel that like tonight, that might be the last one. not by my choice, you know.
I doubt it.
Oh man, we had a good time.
Yeah, you're freaking awesome. I still remember like your interview and me pulling the magic trick question. You'd be like, "Whoa, mate, this wasn't in the transcript. You didn't authorize this question."
Exactly the same way as you didn't pre-practice that English accent.
No, I'm horrible.
There was no effort put into that whatsoever before the show, was there?
I'll just throw in a mate. Bob's your
I don't know
uncle.
if it would have gotten any better with practice, but probably would have busted even more. Oh man. Then we have a review from Canada. So a WoW classic podcast with a bit of everything. Hey, Warcraft Reloaded crew, longtime listener of the pod. Just wanted to say thanks for creating WoW classic content every week. This is a great podcast for those looking for a extra hit of everything WoW. Keep up the great work. Balbins from Atiesh for the Lions. We like that.
Thank you guys so much for the reviews. We appreciate them.
Yeah.
All right, guys, what's everybody been up to in WoW this last week? Whether it be whatever, beta, TBC, Season of Mastery.
What Season of Mastery? Is that still a thing?
I think it's only Duranosaur that ever has anything to say when he comes on about Season of Mastery. He's the last one playing.
I'm best off either going first or last because I can honestly say I've been doing nothing.
Been making a lot of content.
Yeah, I'm making a lot of content, but not been doing anything of note. I mean, if you want to talk about leveling paladins, we can talk about that for hours. As in, I've leveled somewhere in the region of 15 to 20 paladins in the last 2 weeks.
Trying to practice your route.
Not to exactly. Not to 70. You know, as in very.
Man, Scotty.
Yeah, no, the highest has been 44, but like, yeah, just doing the starting zone over and over again, seeing where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do, just for fresh. I'm going fresh. So at the moment, I've got absolutely no reason to log on WoW at all, really. So it's just keeping myself sane by practicing stuff.
Well, and you're going to need the practice because it's you and your brother leveling. And you're going to be leveling 2 tunes at the same time using everything, including foot pedals. Like you have a whole crazy setup.
Yeah, that could have changed since I've done that video.
Okay.
So my brother is he might be out of the picture now. He's not dead. Oh no, I don't think. I mean, he's on holiday. I don't know. He could be. I've not spoken to him today, but I don't think he is. But no, I don't think he's going to be able to get the time off work. So I may just be leveling a paladin solo, but I've been playing about with something that I may still be leveling 2 characters at the same time, but it'll be Steam Deck and PC. I've sort of got a way that I might be doing something a bit cheesy, but I won't be doing a video about it because I don't want anyone else to do it. So because it's operating in the grey area.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I won't be streaming it, put it that way.
But it'll be fun.
It will be loads of fun, but I'm not quite sure whether utilizing Steam Link, so Steam Play across devices, I don't know where that sort of stands in Blizzard's eyes.
Yeah.
As remote PC play. Yeah, exactly. So it'll be something I'm doing off stream, but I've got a good idea. But no, I may just be leveling 1 character.
Okay.
Very cool.
Okay.
I've been preparing, taking up some last minute achievements that I haven't done. I was telling Bob before this, I have a group right now. I planned it at 4 server, which is on Fairlana, and we're grinding hollow tokens, and just something that a lot of players on the server have. Just little things that we haven't been able to do during the expansion, like dungeon quests and everything, trying to just complete everything we can before pre-patch, because we really don't want to focus on, pre-patch or things before pre-patch after it comes out. We'd rather just do it now while there's time, given a certain date. We already know we have 9 days left. So we're just doing that right now.
Nice.
Very cool.
Mel?
Yeah. So I've been leveling a paladin for the first time. So, Scotty, any suggestions? Also, I'm a ret paladin, and I feel like I don't do a lot. But
You don't do nothing as a ret paladin. You just auto attack all the way to max level, whether it's 70 or 80. It's great.
yeah, it's Bob keeps taking aggro off of me with his stupid shadow priest, and so I'm just like, okay, and then he'll run away. He likes to do that. He likes to take aggro and then like keep moving, right? So I'm chasing them, never within range to hit them. So
I've got to go down up the next target.
Yeah, no, it's very inefficient. But yeah, we got to 60 on our paladin and priest, and we went to Outlands at like 58.5, I think, and then we did some of the quests in Hellfire Peninsula, and now they're sitting gaining rests for when the level squish happens at prepatch. So it should be fun. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna change it to prot so I can be a tank. I eventually want to be a healer, but Bob is leveling with me with a priest, so
yeah. And I'm thinking about switching off of Shadow, because Shadow just run out of mana so fast. It's although like with the new talents and stuff coming in, I'm gonna try that first and just see if it's any better. And
you won't
water's better
in the pre-patch. Once the talents change, once the obviously all of the systems change come pre-patch, and you won't. You will still have some mana issues in small group play, like solo in 5-man stuff like that. You will still have mana issues, but past that, you won't. Not in raids.
Well, and it might not be as annoying.
Shadow Priest.
Yeah, it's. I want to play Dis, but I want to like kill as fast as possible. Like I'm gonna play Discipline with him. Like once I get him up there, like I'm planning to PvP, and just kind of like mess around with that. Do some 10-mans and stuff like that. But it's just kind of like a PvP alt. But like I really just don't like Shadow. Like
the prot paladins, they have mana issues as well, don't they? Right now, in the current state.
Early on, I'm pretty sure they have a lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I have mana issues as a ret paladin. I sit to drink more than freaking Bob does on my ret paladin.
Yeah. Mana issues just disappear come pre-patch. I don't want to say disappear, but
they get a lot better.
What's the Shadow Priest ability? Doesn't it? One of them increases mana regen.
It does.
What it's called?
Yeah. Well, it's
Vampiric Touch.
Yeah, it's your little like short casted dot, but I mean it doesn't do much if you're not on like something that lives a long time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like once you get everything up there, the mob's dead. You're like, well, shit. Okay, well. So
once you get dispersion, then you're dispersioning between pools. So you start getting, as in if you're out questing and you've got dispersion, there's less downtime. Right. Every class has got less downtime, mana-wise.
And the food that comes out pre-patch is like superfood. Like just the food you can buy at levels. Yeah, at level 70 is like it looks like you're drinking health, like mana pots, like as you're drinking or eating. It's crazy. Oh, but yeah, that's pretty much all we've been doing. There is one more project I've been doing, but it fits better in one of the parts we're going to get to in the news. So I'll just talk about it then, because it's something I did back in the day, and I'm excited for the changes that they made, allowing me to do it now in the future once again. But we can go over our raid progress, but it really was just a normal Sunwell. It went real good. Dropped, killed Jaden, like nothing crazy happened, but it was our
last raid until Wrath. So our last like DKP sanctioned raid, right? People will still be doing things, but nothing that anybody has to make sure that they show up to. So that's exciting, but we were glad that it went well, right? Having to come back for a second day on our last raid, I think would have really killed some morale there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Oh, I did have one more thing to talk about. Oh, shoot, I totally forgot about this. Okay, so I've been doing a ton of GDKPs, right? And for the most part, they've been pretty good, but I finally fell into the dark side of GDKPs.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it was. So we do a Black Temple, and we get to the end, and I roll on, like, I'm on my rogue, so I need all three pieces of tier. Well, tier comes out. I roll minimum bid. A warrior who can't use it bids me up. I'm like, is that legal? He can't even use it. And they're like, gold's the rule. And I'm like,
yep.
Really? So you're just saying this guy can just bid me up? And so he did. And so I had to pay like twice the price. I was twice the base price for all the different items, which was still a pretty good, pretty cheap deal. Like, they had the tiers starting at 1K, and most of them do them at like starting 2K. But I was just like, this is interesting. So like I don't think this was the case with this one. I think this guy just like either didn't like me or was trolling me or whatever. But you can really have a sleazy thing where someone brings in somebody to just keep bidding everybody up on different items.
GDKPs do that too. And it's, I lead a ton of GDKPs, and I always try to make sure, like, I don't really care if people do that. Like if they want to do that, it's on them. But whenever the bid is done, if they don't have the gold and they're, say they're the warrior that wins the healing mace, they're going to have to pay the gold or they're going to get kicked from the group.
Right.
It should only be usable.
I know.
I feel like that
if
too.
I'm honest.
I feel like some of them will run it that way. And the guy running it actually tried to say, well, no, I don't think that's fair. And then a bunch of people in the group got like mad at him. Like, and he had to back down. I was like, okay, well, I mean, at the end of the day, I would have got all three items for base price, and it would have been a steal, So,
but that's how it should be. Like, it's the same as
like
going
into
a group loot run, and then something drops that nobody else needs, and you happen to get it on your first run. If you went into Grawl and you got DST on your first run, it's not your fault that there's no one else there that wants it.
Right.
That's. Right. So I've never agreed with that. Like, I agree with GDKPs. So as in, I wouldn't say I'm an advocate of GDKPs, but I think it's the perfect pug loot system. Like, it's perfect. There's no better. You go out. There's no better if you can't bot and you can't buy gold. So remove the RMT out of it, and it's perfect. But that sort of shit is what ruins it. It's like, why? Like, why be a dick just for the sake of being a dick?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if this guy maybe knew me or something or what, but like,
I think people do it so the buyout's bigger, right? As long as you end up paying more, then the buyout at the end is bigger for everybody who didn't get anything, right?
Right.
Spoiler alert, it was Mel.
Oh, well, then at the very end,
I think it's fine, guys.
Yeah, at the very end, I just let him have the chest. And it went the like, I had bid up to 2.2, and he just goes 3K, and I was like, all right, cheers. And then so he gets it.
I think you won in the end, Bob. I think you won that battle.
I just like, after he had won it, I was like, well, I'll pay 3K for the chest. I was like, I'll give you 3K for it. But at that point he couldn't bid me up anymore. You know what I mean? Like, so I just like basically like put the ball in his court. I was like, I can always come back. I just would rather not. But it was really weird. And then his chest came up. He bid on it, and then a bunch of people in the raid said to get him back. And I was like, dude, that's just not my way. Like, Mom always said 2 wrongs don't make a right. So people like that get their own in the end, and so I'd rather treat others like I could be treated.
You should have just let him eat the chest. He should have just kept it, burned the 3K gold.
Yeah,
Right?
I thought about that, but I didn't want to come back on my rogue till after pre-patch, and I'll probably want to be doing Sunwell at pre-patch time. And so I was just like, that's the piece that I need, so I don't have to come back. So I'm just gonna grab it up. But it was interesting. It's the first time I've run tons of them. It's the first time I've ever seen that happen to anybody. So yeah, interesting. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there, and then as far as the last of the guild progression stuff, news to everybody. Yip is now the leader of Varg. He has taken over the mantle. He's been the kind of unofficial GM for a bit. It's one of the reasons he probably left the podcast too. Like, it's a lot of work, and doing all kinds of things can burn you out, but he's now the lead. We're going to be going into Wrath with 2 different raid groups. One is a completion raid group, which is very similar to what we do now. Like, we're middle of the pack, we get all content done, but we're not like striving for anything crazy good. So we're going to have that. And then we're also going to have the competitive raid group, and that's going to be where you're expected to have multiple specs. You're expected to be parsing in the 90s. You're expected to do everything, really good, and you're expected to be able to come to extra raid nights if it's needed. So that's the plan for our raid stuff going forward. And my plan for me is to hopefully be in the competitive one as a rogue and be the main tank of the completion raid. So that's what I'm planning now. Whether I accomplish that goal, we'll just have to see. I'm going to have to do a lot of work, learn a lot about tanking, and really put on a good show. But that's what the guild's doing going forward. Got anything to add, Mel?
Not really. I mean, I don't know what it's gonna look like. I don't even know what I'm gonna do, but we will see.
Good deal. All right. Well, we lost Scotty for a second here, so
He's ready to be right back.
Yeah, should we wait to?
We can start.
Well, he doesn't care about PvP, so we'll just go ahead and move into
time for the news.
All right, yeah. So first off, in the news, the Arena Season 4 ends at 10 p.m. in each region on the 29th of August. So anybody wanting to get anything needs to do their games by then. Anybody wanting to go for titles, then the way they're going to do this afterwards is it's not going to be like it's been at the end of our arena seasons in the past. It's going to be everything goes to honor, and so all the season 4 gear will be available to purchase via honor on the 30th. So if anybody wants to save up, your arena points will get moved to honor at a rate of 1 to 10. So if you have 5K, you're gonna have 50K honor. So if you have like too much, pretty sure the cap's staying at 75. So make sure you don't lose honor or arena points. Spend whatever you can accordingly. Yeah, we hit this news topic because I didn't think you cared much for PvP, although you had a PvP video as of late.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that made me laugh more about, when you said the 30th, did you all get the email? So did you all get the email from Blizzard, with all the latest news of everything, and it said the 39th?
Or at least no. I didn't notice.
If you look through your emails and find the latest one from Blizzard, it says that whatever it was about pre-patch, it was like pre-patch goes live, or it was like the arena points cut off, or whatever it was. But it said the 39th of August, which is a bit annoying because I had a holiday booked on the 40th of August, and I don't know if it's gonna interrupt it. But who reads their messages? Like, someone must go, before we send this email out to 10 million people, let's just quick check.
At least read it, or at least one person look over it. I don't get it, man.
But it was the headline. It weren't like it was just in the small text. It was the headline, as in, this happens on the 39th of August. I was like, I look forward to that day when it eventually happens. But PvP wise, I'm going to be doing a lot of PvP in the in Wrath, but not at the moment. Not where I need to worry about arena points. I'm looking forward to AngryDruid's talk towards the end when we're talking about achievements, because it's one place where I fell short of 100% achievements in original Wrath. So
well, you guys are going to be great for that too. This is a really good matchup of guests. But I'm not really. I love arena. I'm just bad at it, But I love to play it, so I guess I'm average. I guess I should say.
I joined your stream when you was PvP and on your rogue, you was doing twos and you was winning.
Yeah, but it was in like the 1500s, like it's not the greatest area.
Doesn't the team start at 1500?
No, it used to. That was the way it did in TBC, but so you're not a PvPer. So
I haven't been in an arena the entire time I've played TBC.
Yeah, so. It starts at 0 now. And it has ever since the start of TBC. So,
okay.
1500's above middle of the pack. Like, it's close to challenger rank at the moment.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because I actually saw people in trade chat. They were saying how their team was at 1500. And I was kind of like laughing to myself, like, the team starts at 1500.
You're like, that's great, guys.
Yeah,
but that's and teams. If you didn't even know, they're dropping teams going into Wrath. We're going to the retail model where you just you can queue with whoever, and it just gives you the average of your 2 ratings.
I think that's what's been the wall between me doing PvP and not, because
a lot of people
I don't really want a team.
Yep. And I jump teams constantly too, so that holds me back also. But but I don't know, for anybody that wanted to know, that's what it's going to end. All right, then the next part is Wrath Classic Auction House updates. Now, this is a long post. I'm not gonna read it all, but basically they're talking about how they're gonna change the auction house a bit. And it's like basically the problem with the auction house, the reason you can't use it at prime time is because all of these people have different scanning programs. Like our TSM does it. I'm sure other add-ons do it. But it basically bogs down everything. They're going to make some changes. I remembered what changes they were back when I wrote the notes, but this weekend has made me forget them. Does anybody else know them? Real quick.
What?
The changes that they're actually going to make.
With what? The auction house?
Yeah.
Well, they said they were going to separate the throttles for add-ons and the native UI so they can more directly target the performance problems. And then they were talking about the default UI not being able to sort by buyout or by unit price. And they're investigating adding a better sort option for the classic default UI.
Yeah, see, I thought most of this was retail. I didn't realize that there was any extensive changes to classic that was announced.
I
could be wrong, but as I say, I've not. I didn't really see much in terms of news. Yeah, I've not seen that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is they were saying that the add-ons are making it a big struggle for people to use the auction house. And then
So I think what they did was whenever they throttled the add-ons, they ended up throttling the actual in-game auction house as well. And that's what it sounded like to me when I read it. And now it looks like they're going to separate those two and kind of put them on, like, I wouldn't say different servers, but it kind of feels like what they layer. And they're going to like kind of layer the auction house between the add-on section and the actual in-game section.
Yeah, Scotty, I stuck it there in our chat, and it's in the notes here at number 2. But yeah, it's definitely Wrath. You got a video you can make after the show now.
No. Now you say it, yeah, I've read that. Sorry, it's they've obviously brought the auction house back to the app in retail. That was what I thought he was actually talking about, but never mind.
Oh yeah, I did see that. That's it sounds good, but it sounds really scary.
I'd love the auction house to be available mobile for Classic. I think that would be immense.
I literally said it the day the iPhone came out.
Yeah.
I am not kidding. Like way back in the day.
Now we just need to get Trade Skill Master for our phones.
Speaking of that, dude.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Can someone tell me why we don't have the armory from day one? Like, that's something that I loved having, that app and that website. Why don't we have that? Like, why? Like, did I miss that from the lead up to Classic? Because I wasn't watching the news a ton leading up to Classic.
Just effort. Yeah, I mean, it would be great. I love the armory, and I mean, the armory obviously exists now still in retail. I just think it's effort. It's too much effort for what they're actually willing to put into Classic. And yeah, like you say, the mobile armory, it's great.
I loved it.
And with achievements, you would have thought that it would be the perfect time to implement the armory, because you can actually look at people's progress and what they've done and when they've done it. Right. The armory and achievements sort of go hand in hand, in my opinion.
It takes something away from those guys trying to get the achievements, because it's nothing better than looking yourself up on the armory and you're number 1 on the server. Something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, and I remember when we first started the podcast, Yip saying something like they didn't people didn't want the degenerate behavior of looking up people on the armory, but at this point, everybody just looks everybody up on
Warcraft logs.
Yeah, logs. So I mean, it's not like, I mean, it's even more to the point to where like, oh, this guy's bad, like, whereas before you'd be, oh, this guy has the achievement or he doesn't.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why they don't do it. It's a strategic choice where they're like, well, they can see that somewhere else. It's not like World of Warcraft's website is monetized. There's not ads on it, so driving traffic there is irrelevant. It's true. Probably not in their favor to do any work that somebody else is willing to do. If somebody else is willing to do the work and have a website where we can see each other, they're probably not bothered.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, well, bummer. I want my armory. Blizzard, I know
Me too.
You guys are listening.
Well.
100%.
It would be so cool, and it would just be neat. And I would be able to, because where am I going to look up who got all the server first? Where am I going to look that up?
I've never heard an actual player say they hated the armory. They didn't want it. Blizzard has said they really didn't, but nobody I've talked to said they didn't like the idea of having an armory.
Yeah, they got one email from somebody saying they didn't want the armory, and they were like, "Sweet, we don't have to do the armory."
Right.
Yeah.
The public has spoken.
Yeah.
That's that one email they got about random dungeon finder too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to push
when you build on from that, as in, I remember talking in guild chat on my phone on the WoW Armory.
Mm-hmm.
You had the WoW Armory, the auction house. You could go on your guild and talk in guild chat. You could see who's been
calendar.
doing what dungeons. Yeah, calendar. You could see who's done what dungeons and what loot they've got. You could see all of that. I mean, that was that's great.
That
I know
builds the community, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I agree 100%. But nowadays it's more about influencing the community to your own agenda. Being like, well, no, this doesn't fit with what we want for Classic, but this does. Even if they're opposing opinions,
Right.
It doesn't matter now. It's what they want, and that's not a dig, because I actually like most of what they're doing with Classic. I like the change in mindset. I like the fact that we're not getting exactly the same as what we did, but stripping away the good things. That's where I draw the line. As in like that. Yeah, having the mobile armory, the remote auction house, all of that. That was good. Recruit a friend. All of these systems are actually thought of quite fondly. No one remembers them as being something that was shit and shouldn't be in.
Yeah,
Right.
Recruit a Friend was really fun because it was a really good way to talk your buddy into coming, and then they would level a bunch and be like, "Come on, jump on! I got a whole bunch of levels for you." You just be jing, 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 jing.
Yeah, it used to be great.
It was great. All right, well, the next part is something that just as soon as I saw it, I made a new tune. So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I will summarize the summary at the end. Experience from PvP in Wrath. We are restoring the ability to gain experience from PvP activities at the same rate present in patch 3.3.5. We're restoring the ability to turn off your experience for 10 gold from Baston and Slotas in Stormwind and Orgrimmar, respectively.
Yeah.
We are not, this is the best part, we are not bifurcating the queue. Now, I don't really actually understand that word, but I know what they mean by it. And players who have turned off experience will continue to matchmake in the general pool so that everybody has the highest chance of finding a match. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, the twinking scene was huge in Wrath, like level 19 twinks, level 29 twinks, even 39 and 49 brackets. It was huge.
Yeah.
People did it all over the place.
A lot of arena 70 bracket twinks.
Oh, really? That too. See, yeah. I never did that.
Because back in original Wrath, you could get Gladiator at level 70. As far as I remember friends that were doing 70 twinks and they were getting Gladiator in the arena bracket at 70.
Weird. Oh, yeah. Wow. I have to look into that. I did not know that was a thing. But what I did know is like basically like somewhere mid-Wrath, I had a level 29 Paladin twink. He was freaking phenomenal. He was awesome to play. Blizzard comes out with this thing where like, hey guys, we're going to let you get experience in PvP. And all the twinks are like, fuck. So we all wrote in, forums blew up. So they're like, okay, hey, listen, we're going to make a compromise. We're going to let you turn your experience off. But the catalyst is anybody with experience turned off is going to get in their own queue for twinking, which basically made twinking not as fun anymore because it would take a long
beat up on all the non-twinks.
Well, okay, but hold on. That was part of it. I'm not gonna lie. Like sometimes it was cool to be a god, but like it made queues so long, and on top of it, you just had everybody was a twink, and like it wasn't as fun as having like 5 or 6 twinks on each side in one BG. Like, you know, you've got your foot soldiers that are getting experience or, you know, just trying to get something done. And then you've got, you know, your like generals, you know, it was really cool. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I didn't always win because sometimes there were a lot more twinks on the other side, you know, but it was impossible to play at that point to even know if it was going to be good because I mean, the only time you could get a game going within 15 to 20, 30 minutes was during prime time. And then you're playing with all the same players all the time. It was just kind of But with this, I immediately went out and started my paladin twink. He's getting ready to go in. I've got two accounts now, so I don't have to talk. Like, I had to talk friends into taking me through dungeons before. Now I can just run my guy through dungeons over and over without bothering anybody. And so I've been just having a blast getting him geared up. I've got a lot of the BIS gear so far, but yeah, what do you guys think about this?
Let yous go first.
No, I
I've
don't
got some
really have
thoughts.
any opinion. I think it's fine. I don't usually play twinks or low level battlegrounds, so
I think it's good because a lot of players, like, you know, if you're a new player and you come into the game, Blizzard shouldn't have to force you to level in dungeons or quests. You know, if you enjoy PvP and you want to level that way, you know, I feel like the experience gain is such a good thing because you can level like how you want to, how you're, you know, comfortable playing the game. If you're being forced from 1 to 80 leveling with quests and you just hate quests, you're not going to stick with the game.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even hit on that. Just the fact you could gain EXP from, I just went totally on my whole thing that I love the tweaking
the
scene.
Twink
But
thing is nice too.
yeah, but it is really cool that you could just work up, and it's like, it's a good amount of experience, at least it was back then. So like, it's pretty cool for the people that want to do it like that. And I mean, it's just a good little change up, you know. And with Wrath, just to remind everybody, when you queue for a BG, you'll get put right back to where you were prior. So you could be leveling and get your queue for the BG, do a BG, and then go right back to what you were doing leveling without having to fly back and everything. And you don't have to wait around.
Yet, though.
Really? It's not yet?
Nope.
Ooh, that's scary.
Yeah, I'm worried about that as well. Yeah, it's at the moment you still need to go to the Battle Master.
Ooh, that would be weird. I was not expecting that.
But I like we've come in soon. I mean, we've got pre-patch in what 10 days?
Yeah,
9 days. Pre-patch feature or a Wrath feature?
It's a pre-patch feature.
It should be
a pre-patch. On the pre-patch.
Basically, everything in Wrath that's not in Northrend and not over level 70 should be in pre-patch. Everything.
Right.
This is not going to mean. Yeah, and that's what worries me. You know, as in that it is like it's so close that it should that should be on the beta. It should have been on the beta from the start. Being able to run around and queue.
Maybe we can just use the new dungeon finder, and
to find groups for battlegrounds.
Or find groups for battlegrounds. That would be fun.
Oh,
that's perfect. I didn't think about that actually. That is perfect. Yeah.
Hold on. Repeat what you said because I just read something in chat.
I said maybe we could use the new dungeon finder in that they've added in Classic. We could use that to just make groups for battlegrounds. Yeah, and that would be how we queue for battlegrounds. You know, I'm sure Blizzard is thinking about that.
Although,
and then we said
totally
one guy.
Kidding. I was totally kidding.
Well, you were joking. I thought it was a brilliant idea. I was like, we'll get Bob to lead the groups, and we'll send Bob to the city to queue us while we run around questing.
Sounds brilliant
with his twink.
All right, guys, I'll do it. Well, okay, so Filthy Calabrea said that tweaking was huge in Vanilla Classic, but dead in TBC. I'll let you know though, my Pally's currently at level 18. I've queued a bunch. It's actually, and the queues are fast right now. So I think a lot of people are starting to work tweaks up right now with Joyous Journeys. And like, I mean, it was prime time, but there were 4 games of Warsong Gulch going. And I mean, I got in right away. So the tweaking scene might be growing up again. So you might check it out. But, what I was going to tell you about pre-mades, I don't know, you guys know PvP a lot, but our guild does we try to do a weekly like BG thing the last few weeks, and we'll get our Wrathy base, we'll get 10 to 15 people. Well, we've tried to queue as a raid, and it's impossible. We've let the queue go up to 20 minutes long. and we can't do it.
Yeah.
So we've had to resort to the 3 groups queue. If all queues pop at the same time, we go.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then we don't go. We just re-queue it. And that's way faster than queuing as a group. And I think everybody's doing that. And that's why, because they made that change where pre-mades go against pre-mades and people just refuse to do pre-mades now.
Right. So back in the day, I remember they had an add-on. The guy that made HotKeyNet for multi-boxers, he had OQ. And OQ was like an add-on where you guys would all split up into 5 different groups, and then it would come out with it would just have like a plus sign or a minus sign if it was a good queue or a bad queue. So you guys could always get like 40 people into your AV, but you would just queue as parties.
We were using that at the start of Classic, and then they made some changes to screw that over because Alliance was like just dominating Alterac Valley right at the start because we were doing all the pre-made stuff, and they made some change to where it didn't work, but it still works for like the small groups in Arathi Basin. Although
I bet if it was Horde dominating, they wouldn't have made a change.
I know.
Yeah. For the Horde.
One fun note though, when queuing like that, is every once in a while, one of your 3 groups, you'll get a BG that's like same faction BG, and one of your 3 groups will be on the other team. That's the only downside. But that can be kind of fun too, because then you just go get beat up on your buddy. Oh man. But yeah, so yep, PvP and Classic. Anybody have anything else?
Nope.
Nope. All right.
Nah.
All right. This next one, I don't know a whole ton about Hunter melee weaving, but supposedly it is not going to be possible anymore in Wrath. But they give the reasons, and it's performing a melee attack resets your range swing timer. Performing an auto shot resets your melee swing timer. Arcane shot and other abilities are not affected. Casting Arcane Shot without doing an auto shot does not reset your melee swing timer. Melee. I don't understand why that stops it.
I think what hunters would do is their melee swing timer and their range auto attack was on a separate cooldown. So whenever you would go, you would get away from the boss, you'd use an auto attack, and then like in between, or if mana issues or whatever, you would just come up to the boss and your melee swing timer would always be ready to go. So you would instantly attack the boss or a mob or whatever you were killing.
Okay. So that was all like, I just don't know anything about hunters.
I'm not 100% sure. I don't really play hunter. I didn't play hunter in TBC, but I don't really know exactly what that is, but I think that's what it was.
Yeah, they're separate swing timers. Well, what they've done with Wrath is right. I mean, it's the same way that your auto shot doesn't stop casting. So your auto shot will always be going even while you're casting steady shot, while you cast it. So if you cast steady shot in TBC, obviously it interrupts your auto shot. So your auto shot would come after your steady shot, whereas you're always casting auto shot in Wrath. So it's where all of your melee and ranged, everything is just one swing timer, but a swing timer that persists through steady shot, for example. So it's right. Yeah, there's nothing. There's no issue there. Not in my eyes, anyway. You could add complexity. No, I don't. No, not really. Because a hunter's meant to be arranged. A melee hunter doesn't come in for another couple of expansions. It does happen eventually, but a hunter's meant to be ranged. So if you're angry that you're not going in as melee as a hunter, go fucking rogue.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they'll be happier about it, because there was a weak aura? There was some sort of add-on you could get that would just do the melee weaving for you automatically, and I think everybody assumed any hunter melee weaving was using that.
No, it's how we find ways to cheese things. That it wasn't intended, was it? Let's be honest.
Right.
Even in TBC, it wasn't intended that you would go into melee and do things as a hunter, because you're arranged. It's the same way, like if we got some melee weaving warlock, it's not. Oh, actually, sorry, tell a lie. It's demo. Yeah, technically you do, but that was a bad example. Let's go mage instead. But no, you know, there's not. It's not how it was intended. So when they make changes like that, yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
well,
me
then
too.
Kofod in chat also points out they could melee an ad while ranging on a boss, which would just be just straight up added DPS without even having to weave, right? They'd just be auto hitting and then still shooting the boss. They wouldn't even have to move.
Yeah, absolutely. If it was on 2 separate timers, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, cool. Good change then. Hunters, if you're not happy with the change, don't get mad at me, because I don't play Hunter. I have no idea. All right,
I don't either, but get mad at me, please.
All right, this next one is pretty juicy. I labeled that wrong or something. Or did someone change that?
No, I saw that. I was like, why are we talking about that again?
Weird. Okay, no, that's actually the raid system adjustments in Wrath of the Lich King Classic, which is a pretty big one. The buff audits systems, the long cooldown resets, the exhausted sated reset. So I'll do a little TLDR real quick. Basically, they're making it so if you wipe on a boss, all your long cooldowns get reset. Smith's come out and said some of them. We'll get to that in a second after we talk about the gist of this. But it's gonna reset less. It's gonna get rid of your sated debuff. You're basically gonna be able to pull right after and have all your big juicy cooldowns for pulling. So there's been a whole bunch of people testing and doing things and really cheating the system, but they're trying to fix it at the moment. I just want to know what you guys at the start of this, what you guys think about this coming in, just on the base of it, being able to have lust for every boss fight after wipes, etc.
I think it's great. I mean, why would you want to wait 10 minutes to pull the boss after you just wiped? You know, as a guild, someone that's going to progress on this stuff, even as a speed runner, you wipe. If you're a speed runner and you wipe, then you got to wait 10 minutes at least. That's just not good.
Well, I
think on the other end of it, though, right? I think there was some strategy and some, other things involved in, do we use our lust on this boss? Do we use our cooldowns here because we won't have them for the next boss, right? And I do think that was interesting, right? And it was interesting to see okay, so-and-so, this person and this person have their lust up, but, this person's isn't going to be up till midway through the fight or something. I don't know. I feel like there was some strategy. I'm not upset about them changing it. I'm not going to, get angry about it. It'll probably make my life easier, but,
Yeah.
Do you like the steps towards? I genuinely feel what I'm about to say is going to upset a lot of people, but I'll say it anyway because I don't care. Mainly because me and AngryDruid have almost got matching tops on. I know
we
people listening can't.
Didn't give us the memo.
I want to put it out there now. I want to put a little bit more contrast on my camera to make my
Yankees hat
like yours. I feel like if you're one of those people that are die-hard classic. If you're a classic player who, when I say die-hard classic, I mean vanilla TBC. Because at the end of the day, Wrath is where things start changing. The way it's going at the moment with the current classic development team, they're sort of accelerating the rate at which we reach retail. Now, I personally don't see that as a problem. There's a lot of retail systems that I like. There's a lot of retail systems that I don't like. This is one of those retail systems that, for me, it doesn't bother me. But all of these little changes, that all they're doing is sort of propelling us towards what retail is today. And again, I don't mean that in a good way or a bad way. I'm very indifferent on it because I personally, as someone who doesn't speed run, it makes no difference to me. I think the only people this affect are the speedrunners. Where you know, I'm sorry, like go and fucking play something else. Like what I understand why people speed run, but if that's your sole purpose of playing WoW, there must be something better to go and do. Like,
I'll add one more category of people because I don't speed run at all, but I love parsing on bosses, and there's nothing worse than us wiping, and then literally in my head, I'm thinking, I kind of hope we wipe again, so I have a full opportunity to parse.
I need lust
the next time, you know, and that sucks. Like, because I don't want to waste the time. I'm not gonna like intentionally screw up to like screw over the other people, but in my head, I'm thinking, man, I really do kind of hope somebody fucks up, and I can I can get this fight with a lust because that's the only way I'm going to come close to parsing, and that's. So I'm not a speedrunner, but I'm a guy that just loves boss parsing. I don't care about overall damage. The only reason I care now is because my guild and other people care to go fast. So like I care because they care. But what I really truly love to do is parse on bosses. That's my favorite thing in the game. And but yeah, that's just another category that it might help. But you were talking about retail. And Yip and I...
But I think that what you said is right, though. I think that is like that. I would say that's the bigger portion of players, though.
I think so.
As in the people who are looking to pass on each boss far outweighs the amount of players that you've got trying to speedrun.
Yep.
Everybody
Definitely
wants to see that 99 pass on a boss-by-boss basis, rather than did we clear that whole raid quicker?
Yep. Yeah.
So... That like if we're talking in terms of pleasing the bigger, the wider community, the speedrunning community is quite small, I would say.
Yep, and it's an enjoyable community. I love watching what they do. I just don't specifically want to do it myself, you know. But I love seeing what they do and seeing the things they come up with and all. But I wanted to get to the like real quick. There's a little tangent in here because you're talking about the retail thing, and Yip and I early on in the show, I'm like a diehard classic guy, right? Like I'm like I don't like retail at all guy, but like Yip always thought that meant that I thought that everything in retail sucked, like all the changes, and I had to point out to him at some point, no, like I think this is a great change, like. We were talking about pet battles, and he was like, "Oh, I bet you think that's horrible." And I was like, I would love to have that. Like, I never had that. Like, I listened to podcasts for years after I quit, and I loved hearing about the pet battles, and I would love to do that. And he was like, "But it's retail," and I was like, "Just because something's retail doesn't mean it's inherently bad." There were things I didn't like and things that I did like. You know, there's a lot of good there. You know, and so. I think this is a good system for everybody. You know, if they get it done right and they get it locked down correctly, we could, you know, once we're done with this conversation, if anybody wants to follow up to that, we can get into the degeneracy that people have been working on and them
shocking
the devs trying to combat it. But is that like does anybody else think anything but good about this? Like. I just don't get it. Can I
just go back to just 1 second, just go back to what you were saying?
Yeah.
So like you said about pet battles, just as an example. So pet battles in current retail, you know, you can get XP, as in player XP, from doing a pet battle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's not great. But what
I don't like
harm
that part.
Is there in being just where it's a pet battle system? You know, like now in Wrath or TBC, it could have been anything TBC, doesn't really matter. But in Wrath, you get more pets. So in Wrath, if there was the pet battle system, but all it was pets, and there was no achievements, there was no nothing, it was just a pet battle system. Who does that hurt by being there? You know, it's a system that some people will enjoy doing, and then people who don't enjoy doing it are not at a disadvantage or at a loss by not doing it.
Yeah,
you know, like why not? Like those sort of changes, I see as a no-brainer.
As long as it isn't something you have to do. You know what I mean? Like to get gear or to get like, say they attached shoulder in chance to pet battles somehow. That would suck because it's just something else you have to do. But I love things that you don't have to do that are fun. And I mean, pet battles could even go even further. Like gambling with that could be freaking awesome. Like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could be really fun with pet battles. You could be like, all right, well, you're going to get, you could even do something where two people in the raid should both get this piece of gear. And you're like, all right, pet battle. Well, I mean, I guess that would still be like, then they'd have to, but if they both agreed to that because they both liked pet battles or something, you know, like.
But it's just gambling your pet. You know, like I've leveled this pet to 20 and I'll battle you. If I lose, you can have my pet. You know,
like car racing for pink slips and stuff like that. I mean,
yeah, exactly. But it's something that don't add to player power. If you don't like pet battles, then all right, well, don't do it. You know, it's not difficult.
Yeah.
You don't go like, oh, I hate this, I'm not playing the game. But why? You don't have to go and do pet battles. That's like me saying I don't like PvP, so I'm not playing WoW anymore. I'm just going to go and play like My Little Pony or something, which I love, by the way.
Brody.
But, do you know what I mean? It's like you don't have to do everything that's in the game. But if you can sort of appeal to a wider audience, why not?
I don't see why not at all. I think the only problems come in is when they introduce systems that make you have to do them, and like that's where it just like is like you know, like that's we had Salve Dally and Rugs on recently, and they were talking about how they would love to have a expert higher raid level that doesn't give any better gear. It's just period, like achievements, mounts, cosmetics, like they just want it as a challenge mode. And I thought that would be the best thing ever because then you don't have people feeling bad because they can't do that, but you have them watching you because they're like, damn, dude, they're doing this, you know, and this is like impossible. But like they're doing it with the same gear that I have, you know, whereas like when you look at mythic raiding, they're doing that with gear that's way better than your gear. And so you're always going to think, well, I could do that if, you know, if I had the gear, you know, but which you probably couldn't, but you know, that's what you're thinking in your head. But I just think it would be cool to have these different challenges that don't award you better gear. And I'm not talking about like, I'm definitely not talking about what you were talking about, your latest heroic video, because I think that would be a really good thing where the gear gets better, but it's like, it's not like crazy good, better than raids. Like I'm just talking about basically when you get into the mythic raiding type of stuff, I just always wished retail would have made that just not better gear. I think it would have been
you got to remember, so that again, like that video, that's not my idea. You know, like just putting it out there straight away. That's not my. It is my idea, as in how they should do it. But Blizzard themselves have already said that they are gonna make heroics more challenging, more rewarding, give more up-to-date loot.
I guess you know, they have. Yeah,
and the only reason I made that video is more or less in response to that, to say, I hope you do it right, because the way Blizzard will do it will be probably awful. You know, it probably will be. It will probably be absolutely shocking. In some way, shape, or form, it will end up being bad. So it's about how you do it to maintain the integrity, if you like, of what Classic's meant to be, whilst at the same time adding an extra form of difficulty that makes people want to do the dungeons. You know, which it is difficult. Yeah. They are going to do something. Mark my words. We'll talk again in a few months' time, maybe 4 months' time, and they'll be announcing how they're going to make Phase 2 heroics difficult, and they'll end up getting themselves in a bit of a muddle, you know, where Phase 2 will be more difficult, and then Phase 3 will be more difficult than Phase 2. Now we've got like Phase 2 emblems and then Phase 3 emblems. So what they're trying to do is make things simple, but they'll end up making it more complicated for themselves.
Right.
Well, then I think I think they could do it really bad to where they just change the heroics, like, and then it's just only the one version, and it's just tougher and tougher and tougher, and then all of a sudden, working up new characters, just like don't even bother with doing heroics, like, because it's gonna be just way too tough.
They can solve it with their own system and not Mythic Plus. Like every like the people who were on board with it were like, oh, so we want Mythic Plus. What they actually need to do is gold challenge modes. That's it. That's job done.
What is gold challenge
Easy.
modes?
It gives no gear, just transmog. I know we haven't got transmog, so there would have to be maybe a title or a feat of strength, achievement. You know, like nothing that actually gives power, but
amount,
where you
something
amount exactly it's something like that where it's there's no power reward, there's no nothing, but if you want to keep them a gold challenge mode is basically imagine doing Utgard Keep heroic, but it's much more difficult and you only get a certain amount of time to complete it, and then you get copper, silver or gold.
Right.
But actually I think it was silver, gold, platinum.
This is why they added the Spectral Tiger into the game. I'm sure this is why you've seen the Spectral Tiger. They could use that as a challenge mode gold mount, instead of selling it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But it's not. It's no. There's no need to do it unless it's for personal accomplishment. Like to go, look, I've done this. And that's why I'm a prime example. When I play retail, I only play hunter, monk, paladin, or druid, because I've got all the gold challenge mode gear on those 4 classes.
Yeah. And I think it's good, like the small group content, like it really, that's part of that social aspect too, where you have small groups, like 5-man group doing like a hard challenge mode gold. Back in Mist, those things were great. And Warlords of Draenor, like those were the best. That's some of the best times I had in the entire expansions was doing challenge modes with my groups.
Yeah. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm all for all these extra things. And as long as I don't have to do them, I'm going to want to do them more. And I mean, I think that's something Blizzard really needs to learn is that, like, once somebody has time, like they're going to want to do things more if they don't have to do them. And yeah, I think that's where they've like really kind of like faltered here. The retail side is that all these weird systems you have to do, and you have to do it every day. And if you fall behind, you might as well just wait till the next tier.
That's why I ended up quitting retail. I only play classic at this point, and actually deleted retail for the first time in I don't know how many years. I've deleted it, and I don't ever plan on downloading it again, just because classic's been so much fun without all these systems in it that I have to do, and if I don't do them, then I'm behind. It was cool, when I was younger and I could end up doing this stuff, but now that you're a working person, you have kids or whatever, you're not going to be able to do all these consistently.
Yep.
It's just not fun.
Yep. And
it seems like work more than it does fun, right?
Yeah.
And if it's not something that's required, all of a sudden you're like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do today. I don't have anything on the schedule. I'm going to try this out and see if I like it. And then if you like it, you're going to keep doing it, and then like you're having people do the things in the game that they think are fun. And I think that's where they really need to just keep it classic. But kind of want to wait till Scotty got back to talk about like the things, because that was a tangent in there. But we've seen people taking advantage of this new buff lockout system. Basically, okay, Scotty's back. So basically, the resetting of your cooldowns, people were finding that, say, a hunter could run in front of the raid and pull a boss and feign death multiple times to get the whole raid bloodlust once again for trash packs, and could do it over and over again. And they've since fixed that. But like in the retail system, everybody has to engage the boss. So I would hope that they would just eventually get us to that point, but they're making some changes and they're definitely taking some of the abilities off. Like so far, what they have currently removed from the list of resetting buffs is Army of the Dead, Lay on Hands, Fire Elemental Totem, Earth Elemental Totem, Astral Recall, Reincarnation, and Ritual of Doom. And these are just good things. Like imagine having Lay on Hands every fight. Imagine having all of these different things. Like, are there any other ones we could think of that shouldn't be on the list?
I'd say it's basically anything that's over about a 6-minute cooldown.
I think so
anything
too.
over about 6 minutes then shouldn't be on there. All right, other than like Hero, resetting, which is more or less the whole point of it. I don't think there's any way we find that we cheese it, like that, having a hunter that goes out and keeps resetting to reset Hero so you can have it on trash packs. That's not intended. We can find ways to break things, and then we can post about it and go, "Oh, look what we're doing," and then it'll get fixed.
Yeah,
it's not an intended mechanic. So it's like back in the day, go and sit there and go through the patch notes on Wowpedia and go from 3.0 to 3.3.3, and you'll see all of the same shit basically get changed from patch to patch, where we find something, we break it, they fix it. It's not like they've not gone, "Oh, we'll put it out like this will be fine." There's no big issue. That's why I've not done a video on it at all, because there's no point. Because by the time Wrath actually launches, it's going to be a completely different story. What does reset, what don't reset, how you reset it. Like retail, do you all have to engage the boss? Do you all of these things will change over time. You can't take their first iteration of it as gospel.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I thought so too. There was a lot of people freaking out about it, and I was like, guys, it's gonna be fixed. Like they're working on it, and I mean, they've been working hard. Like I know the blue posts, come seems like they give us a whole ton and then are silent for a long time. But I mean, they've been really good as of the last week and a half. So. But I would think anything over that. Someone was telling me it was hilarious because they were like, well, warriors are going to have wreck every fight. And I was like, well, wreck turns to a 5-minute cooldown. You forget those types of things oftentimes when you play different classes. Like wreck, all the 3 different big cooldowns on the warrior are all down to 5 minutes. You just can only use one every 5 minutes, So
there's literally there's one tier of content in Wrath where it's going to matter, and that's tier 9. Come top where there's no trash. And you are going from boss to boss. But from anywhere before then, most of the time your cooldowns are going to be up. The vast majority of the times anyway.
Yeah, the only thing you have to think about is, depending on what group you're with. I was running, I've run a few different raids with the content creators on beta, and we're going so fast that I'm like, I better not use these cooldowns or I'm not going to have them for the boss, because we're going so quickly through everything. So kind of depends on your guild too.
Yeah, but with this, you're going to have them on every boss.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter. It's more to keep the fluidity of the raid, where you haven't got to do that. You haven't got to worry about I don't want to use these cooldowns because I don't want to not be able to pass on this boss. I don't want to not be able to pass on that boss. Right. Mm-hmm. It is, you can just use them more. I don't see that as a bad thing. I know there will be a lot of people that do. Like what you said earlier, Mel, where you was like, the cooldown management over the course of the raid. Yeah. Which is absolutely right. But I just feel like we're getting so far away from that now that it's irrelevant.
Well, and I don't think...
I know it's...
It doesn't reset at the when you start a boss encounter, so you'll still have to think about not using it on trash prior or using it right after, you know, the boss, so that you will have it up, you know, like you'll still have to think about that too. So it's, I mean, you'll still have to do some cooldown management.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
all in
not
all, I
using
just
it on
don't
cooldown.
see it as a problem. I think it'll make people's lives easier, right? And I think that there was a lot of times where we had to take a 3 or 4 minute break because we wanted to wait for Lust because we wanted to do one last pull on a boss, right? And it'll avoid that, which will be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think like, you know, as far as the changes for buffs, I saw also another thing on there where they were going to put features in so that if you had a buff on your character and that specific class was not in the raid, they were going to remove the buffs from your character. So like you couldn't have your alt go out there, buff your guy up, and then run in and solo old content. It seemed like they were going to remove things that weren't supposed to be there. Like if you didn't have a priest, then they wouldn't put in power word shield would get removed when you pull the boss, or some type of feature like that.
That is in there. That's the
That was in TBC.
Well, no, that's the buff audit system. There's
something I just read somewhere. Maybe it was in the notes that you put out.
Yeah. So basically, that's another part of this that I totally forgot to hit on, is that say you have 2 specs, like you have one spec with improved this buff. You put that up on the whole raid, then you switch specs, it removes that buff. So you can't like have a buff spec like that you could put on everybody before the boss and then change your spec and then have that buff persist. The one that was in TBC was it would remove the buff if you went into the dungeon, right? This one's actually going to actively watch your characters in your raid to make sure somebody has that improved buff if it's on your raid, or else it's going to wipe it right off. So I thought that was a good change too, because there would have been definitely sweaty guilds that are making their people have this one spec just to get improved yada yada.
And that only affects like the 0.1% of those people that are doing that, you know. So it doesn't affect most of the people in the community. Yeah.
I mean, most people aren't going to do that, but there definitely would be like pushes to do that. There would be, even in your casual guilds, there would be a handful of people that would do that for everybody else just to like help them out, you know. So I think that's good.
Mm-hmm. But as a DK, for example, there you could get perma ghoul and then put the ghoul out and then go into frost.
Yep.
And then DPS with your ghoul up 100% of the time.
Yep.
So yeah, there was a lot of cheesy shit going on. That, yeah, again, it's not intended. Like everyone starts freaking out, like, "Oh my god, look what I can do!" It's like, yeah, but you're doing it, and you know that that's not like. That's not what's intended. Blizzard didn't sit there and go, "Oh yeah, you can go frost and get a fucking, you know, as a mage, you can go frost and get a pet out and then switch to fire and keep the pet." Like, you know that that's not what was intended. But everyone like starts fucking spazzing out doing videos about it, and it's like, or posting about it on Reddit, like this is how it's going to be. You know, even if it was like that, it will be like that for a day, and then it will get changed.
Yeah.
I think it was on the latest Countdown to Classic where someone on Josh's show said something like they wish that they would bring back the raid bans for if somebody was doing something that they obviously knew was not intended, their raid would get banned for like a week or two. Like, you know, the example was back in the day, the Cthulhu bug where they could just drop through the floor like right at the start and kill Cthulhu, and the whole raid got banned, like stuff like that.
You got Martin's Fury, you know.
Oh, Martin's Fury,
shirt, yeah,
the shirt that like allowed him to destroy everybody. Oh man, yeah, I forgot about that, man. There's a lot of fun history.
But Aldor really started to bring that out, I think, in the raiding scene. Like, it was one of the first raids where people started to get sweaty, and they were really, you know, like starting to do those kind of things with those tricks and like different things they would do. That's the first time I remember it really. Like I didn't really raid in Classic and TBC originally. Wrath was the first expansion I got into raiding, but Ulduar was the one where I really started to see it. And maybe it was because YouTube was becoming popular, or maybe it was because Wowhead was starting to maybe be a thing. I'm not sure. That was the first time I saw it.
Yeah, and then the one last thing I think I didn't touch on, and I probably should, is that so there's the sated exhaustion system, which means you can't get on another bloodlust for a certain amount of time. In addition, they're going to reset that on boss, on a wipe. But what they're going to do for people that are trying to cheese is it's the sated's going to persist through death. It's only going to get wiped on a boss wipe. So if you get yourself killed, then rezzed back up, then you want to get the buff again, you're not going to be able to do that. And so I think that's a huge, awesome thing that they're throwing in too. So you can't have that cheese of people getting extra lust. Because for anybody who doesn't know, lust is raid wide in Wrath and no longer group wide. So there's no more switching paladins in for extra lusts, yada, yada, yada.
But don't you think
shamans
will inevitably just result in guilds calling wipes quicker than maybe they would have before? You know what I mean?
Well, it'll reset now, won't it?
Only
maybe.
Wipe.
Yeah. So if you call a wipe, it's going to reset Hero, isn't it?
Yeah.
So she's saying, like, are people going to call wipes faster? I mean, but is that really a big deal?
There's no reason. To be honest, no. I'm saying, there's no reason not to call a wipe. I feel like sometimes we don't call a wipe with like a hope because we used lust, right? It'll avoid that kind of save time.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah. I don't know. All in all, I think it's really cool. They're still working through the bugs, and if anybody has any thoughts about stuff that shouldn't be included on the wipe, let us know. But yeah, Astral Recall, isn't that just the shabby recall?
Stone.
Yeah. Why is that not getting wiped?
That
I guess why
broken.
That'd be really broken. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, duh. Never mind. Never mind. I'm dumb. Okay, well, all right. Well, we had some tangents in there, and we talked about it. I think it's all in all a good change. Let us know what you think in the comments, or write into us. All right, the next thing is the Wrath of the Lich King pre-patch goes live August 30th. September. Should we go through each of these one by one? Let's just go. Yeah, let's just go. August 30th pre-patch drops.
Yay.
Oh yeah,
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Confirmed. So, like, what do you want us to say about that?
I was just gonna leave it open to like somebody doing, or just happy that we have a date or anything.
So because it's in a blue post, is that actually confirmed?
Well, is it on their website? And then they took it off, and they put it back up.
I got a mail from them saying it was the 39th. So,
so we're not actually sure if it's the 30th or the 39th yet, but we're just gonna have to wait and see, I guess. All right. So so the next thing, September 6th through 13th, Zombie Plague event will start. Now, I didn't think about this until I saw like a little short Graze for Days video, and he's planning to do fresh, and he's like, so that gives us 6 days before our quests are fucked. It's like, because the Zombie Plague event's gonna be all over the place in different leveling zones, and those things kill all the different quest mobs. So do you guys see any problems with this 6th through the 13th?
No, no. Level fast. Take WoW very seriously and stop working. Easy,
Easy.
easy. Stop being lightweights. Just Just stop doing that real life adult stuff and just play WoW.
Oh God.
Oh man. All right, and then
so the 6th through the 13th though, that's only in the cities.
no,
The 13th and beyond is when it goes into other zones. First of all,
you're right. You're right.
In the cities.
Yeah, so the plague event is the thing where everybody gets sick and can turn into a ghoul and can affect everybody else. And this is actually, yeah, okay, so the Scourge Invasion is where you're going to be able to get the stones and everything else. That's the 13th through launch, or through till launch. But the Zombie Plague event is the one where you can turn into a zombie and kill everybody in a town. That is going to be a whole bitch for like everybody that's leveling. Like your quest tune is going to be dead, so you can't turn in. You're not going to be able to fly because they've killed the Griffin Master.
Dungeon grinding. So we're going to have to do.
That's going to be nuts. Are you also going fresh, Druid? No. You're working on achievements. Scotty,
I might take that fresh character. Maybe.
What are you gonna do about this, Scotty? I'm gonna make a fresh character. Really I'm gonna make a fresh character just so I can screw you guys over.
I'm just gonna level really fast and not worry about it. I'll be ahead of the plague, mate. It's fine.
Fair. Oh, that seems
just
crazy though.
Just outrun the plague, Scotty.
I saw
it's going to be annoying on my alts, but yeah, like first character, I'd like to think that the pre-patch event's not going to be an issue.
Speaking of getting ahead on leveling, I watched your video on the on logging out in Naxx Ramus, because my group that I lead is really huge on Naxx Ramus runs. So a lot of us were talking about how you could log out and then end up in Northern. I don't know if they've ended up changing that or hot fixing it since you put out that video.
It teleports you back, don't it? So it's a bit like going to GM Island.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not gonna do anything of any worth, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Let's just say they all watch his videos. They're gonna fix it.
Yeah, of course.
Way to ruin it, Scotty.
Hopefully not.
Oh man. All right, well, okay, so yeah, good luck guys in that little 7-day period. It's gonna be a little rough. So yeah, like AngryDruid said, probably dungeon leveling at that point is probably going to be a big deal. So use that new awesome system that they put in there for you to find groups. Should be great.
What's that? What system? I must have missed that one. Sorry, I do miss the occasional blue post. How do we find groups?
It's that awesome looking for groups system that they put in beta. It's the really good one that you make your group and then you just get constant requests for invites, and you don't know what spec or anything that person is. You can even queue as a tank, as a rogue. It's awesome, right?
Yeah.
So they've bought LFG bulletin board. Is that what you're saying?
No, they've made it worse. It's definitely not as good as LFG bulletin board. But to be in LFG bulletin board, you're gonna have to be in that system. So
nice.
Sorry. We're memeing a bit, giving them some shit. They're trying hard, guys. Hopefully they can just give us random dungeon finder.
Try harder. Oh, you was going that way. Sorry, I didn't know where you was going.
All right, so September 13th through launch is the actual Scourge Invasion event, and I believe this is going to be very similar to the one we had prior to Naxx in Classic, and you're going to be able to get those Scourge stones, probably, from what I understand, the upgraded version of them, and you're only going to be able to have as many as you get. So definitely you should be trying to get those. There's some gear that, blue gear that gives you quite a bit upgraded attack against undead and demons, I believe, or is it just undead?
Just undead, but it's epic. It's epic. It's big. It's big boy.
Oh,
gear.
it's
Karazhan
epic.
equivalent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. And then there's going to be some other things. Do we know if the entire pre-patch you can get the Arcanite Ripper, like the guitar / axe? Like, can you get that all through pre-patch?
Yeah, but you got to remember, you're still you're only limited by the amount of lockouts you can do to Karazhan. So all of us have only got 2, 3 attempts at it.
Yeah, well, so you're definitely going to want to try to, like, I don't know how small of a group you can do with that, but I'm guessing if you're with a Sunwell Gear 5-man group, I'm guessing that you can take that boss because it's right after a tune, so you have to kill a tune, the huntsman, and then you probably kill that boss right after. And I'd recommend only taking like 5 if you can manage it, because you only have a very short time. Oh, what else? Okay, so then September 26th, Wrath of the Lich King launches at 3 p.m. Pacific Daytime.
What's that? Is that a new game?
Mm-hmm.
Wrath of the Lich King Classic.
That sounds like a good one. That sounds fun. What's that about? Yeah, I'm gonna have to let me go on YouTube and type it in, see if I can find anything.
ScotteJaye video pops right up there when you search it.
No, it was actually a Willy video, but
oh, Willy, love him. Good friend to the show. He's been on like 4 times, I think.
I love Willy.
Oh, he's great. We'll have to have you on sometime with him.
Me and Willy together. That sounds
dangerous.
Disgustingly beautiful.
Sounds epic. Sounds epic. All right,
they might both lose their guesting spots on Warcraft Reloaded if we have them on together, you know?
If we could get Willy to have some drinks, that would be awesome.
It's funny. I was actually thinking about that today, and I'm not even joking. No, I'm being 100% serious. I was gonna message Willy and ask him if he wanted to have a few beers on the Friday before Wrath launches, because I've spoke to Blizzard today about getting loads of giveaway stuff, like boosts and all that shit to give away on stream.
Oh, nice.
And I was thinking getting Willy getting Willy inside on board, not inside me. What am I saying? Getting Willy on board, and we'll try not to blush. Everyone's watching now. We're me and Willy together, have a few beers. I honestly, I thought about I'm going to message him. Obviously, but we could get loads of guests on. So you guys can come on. We can all just have a really big
fun time
content creator piss up stream for
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, man.
The Friday before launch, where everybody's welcome.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. I mean, do you know him? Do you know him? Have you talked to him before?
He's been on my podcast.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I was let's say I could introduce you or whatever.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I've spoke to him a fair few times, but yeah, getting just an open invitation. Every podcast, every content creator, every streamer, everyone on the Friday before launch, because everyone's going to want to sleep all weekend, so you can go hard at launch. But the Friday before, we all just get together and just do whatever, just have fun.
That'd be cool. Well, I can guarantee you he's going to want to do it. He loves going on podcasts, so I think that would definitely be a fun time for him. So he definitely should. Willy, if you're listening,
I'll lure him in as it being a podcast, and I'll lure him in. So I'll be like, "Oh, all right, Willy, do you want to come on a podcast?" And then when he actually turns up and we're all live, everyone's getting shit faced, throwing drink everywhere. There's strippers in the background.
Standard podcast. My bad.
Yeah, I thought this was what you was coming to. I thought you knew. I thought you knew how I was on podcasts.
Maybe there was a lack of communication there. My bad.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Now, Mel, put your clothes back on. Willy wants to go.
Willy's turn.
Oh man! All right.
Anyway, sorry. Carry on.
So, okay. I'll just cover this now. So Brewfest, we did talk about this last week, but Brewfest, we didn't know last week which rewards it would be, but Brewfest is going to be the 20th through the 6th, through October 6th. And it is going to be the old rewards. Now, there's been some talk about this. I think it's probably good. I mean, I think it should be the old rewards. I mean, it was meant to be a catch-up mechanic. You could have like double really good trinkets if you were someone who could level quick enough to do it. I mean, the people like us that would level in, under 6 days are going to have those trinkets. And the barb shaker, I don't know if it's still that reward, but like any of the weapon rewards, like I think it would have been really beneficial to people like us and really unfair to the majority of the population.
Mm-hmm. And anyone else first? I've got a lot of thoughts on this, so I'll go last.
Wait, what is it? What are the things? I don't even know what's happening here.
Mel, remember when we would all, like when Brewfest was out before, we'd all go and kill the boss, like, with multiple characters. It was where you could get the little mole machine that would take you right to Blackrock. Yeah. Okay. And we got the mounts and all that. Okay.
It gives people another chance to get the RAM mount, the original RAM mount, because I believe they removed that with Wrath. And it comes down to then they only put the Swift one into the game when when the level 80 version. But I don't know what kind of loot table they'll have on the level 70 version since pre-patch has already come out. But I also don't. One thing I noticed, it was one of the first things I caught, is that you can get achievements in this, even though it's level 70. So I was really hyped about that. We can start. Because you have the achievements for the Brewfest of the Month Club. You're going to want to start that as soon as possible. You're going to have the Violet Proto Drake meta achievement. All that stuff you're going to be able to complete now within a year instead of having to wait almost 2 years to get this done. So I think it was good for that change.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and on top of it, if you are people like us that'll have a level 80 by the time it goes, like you're going to be able to 2-man it probably. So
yeah,
you'll be able to get whatever reward you want. Because I want that damn mole machine, and I was never able to win the roll on it because everybody wanted that. I've got the RAM on 3 different characters, but like don't have the mole machine at all, and so I'm hoping to get that.
So it's a strange time for it to launch, or an awkward time, because I only went into so much detail on the video that I put out because I didn't want to. I didn't want to push Blizzard. Like I was kind of hoping that it would be level 80, even though I know it should be 70.
I was kind of hoping it would be too because I'm selfish, but I don't think it's a good idea.
So I left out some very key things, as in thinking long term. Trust me, I wrote about 7 pages about Brewfest and cut it down to 3. Where I was looking and I was like, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. I don't want to highlight that. Because it's nice to bring attention to things, but not too much attention. So if you really think about Brewfest, the trinkets are nice. Yeah, even at level 80. So I'm talking level 80 Brewfest. It's nice. They're nice trinkets. Yeah. Saves you some emblems. Well, but you got a 226 mace that drops. That's BIS for DKs specifically, but for even a rogue, a combat rogue, it's a 226 mace. That's Kel'Thuzad. That's KT25. That's Sarfarian 3 Drakes. Mm. That's Ulduar. That's Ulduar. Like non-hard mode bosses. That's emblems of conquest. We're talking that's really good gear. So you've got that, but not only that, it's the fact that how it falls. So with how quick WoW Classic moves, where are we going to be in 12 months? I'm guessing we're probably in ICC. Or we're going to be close to it. The expansion is, but in a year with how quick Classic moves, we're almost looking at, well, what are we getting next? Is it Kata? Are you cancelling Classic? Are we done? What in 12 months,
will for sure
that loot that
be
it drops is going to be useless.
will for sure be at least TOC, and it'll be absolutely worthless.
Yeah, so it's like you either have it at level 80 now where it is like cheating, it almost shouldn't be there, but it would be nice to be there, or in 12 months it's going to be completely and utterly trash. It's not even catch-up gear anymore, because it won't be.
Have we gotten an actual phase list?
We
No.
have not.
No.
Nope. But you can, like, how long's TBC been out for? Like, we can do a quick Google and look. Like, what TBC must have only been out for 14 months.
Yeah,
I would guess
Something like that.
that would be a guess without looking. I would say 14 months. So if you've got that, if it's around about the same amount of time,
June 1st,
by the time the next
2021.
Brewfest comes around.
Yeah, you
So
were right.
July
You
or-
were right on the. You were right on the money. For 14 months.
So by the time
15
Wrath launches and we've had Brewfest for the second time, all of that loot is absolute dog shit, and you can get better from dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah, I mean that is the bummer. But at the same time, like, unless they were willing to just push Brewfest 6 weeks, I think this is the best thing. If they pushed Brewfest 6 weeks, I think it would have been fine to have the level 80 versions, although the weapon is a little crazy, like, and especially unfair that certain classes would really benefit from it and certain classes wouldn't. But isn't that the name of the game on a lot of things
Yeah.
in World of Warcraft?
But is it not what like we want, or it might just be me? You know, like I don't want an authentic experience anymore. I don't know. I'm happy to say it. I don't want an authentic Wrath of the Lich King experience.
Well, because you
I
know
want
it's
them to look
impossible.
at- Yeah, exactly. It's impossible, and I want them to look back at what didn't work and now make it work.
Right.
That's it. They're one of few companies. There's not many companies in the world that get a chance at doing something a second time and it almost being as successful as it was the first time. They have got that and they can do that. But you've got a lot of people who play private servers and stuff who are like, oh, you don't need to change anything. You don't just do that. It's like, well, no, that's a small minority of the player base. Like, a lot of us are open to going, well, actually, I accept this change. Like, this change makes sense. It was rubbish back in the day, or it's been rubbish on private servers. Yeah, let's see what it's like with this.
I mean, in
I
all
think-
reality, how many situations or things that you've done personally, right? And if you had a chance to go back and redo a video that you did 10 years ago, right? Would you just do it exactly the same because it worked 10 years ago? Or would you change it so that it's more in line with people's thought process and people nowadays? You know what I mean?
I think most of
Brilliant.
the people who are coming back to the game are coming back to a point where they were about to quit playing the game. So you don't want to create the exact same experience they had back in, 2009 or 2010 when Cataclysm was about to come out, and the same feeling is going to come across their minds. Hey, I'm getting ready to quit the game again. These people are coming back as players that haven't played in a long time because Wrath of the Lich King release. I was talking to this one guy in my community, and he was saying his original arena partners that he played with back in 2009 are going to come back and play with him. So it seems like there's so many people just coming back to experience what they did before, but they don't want to feel like they're about to quit the game again. That's what I kind of got from that.
Yeah, I would say that's beautiful. Yeah, absolutely perfect. It's like, why set everybody up for the same destiny that was predefined 13 years ago?
Right.
It is being able to say, well, no, look, we know where we went wrong. We know, and there'll be things that we don't agree with. There's things I don't agree with. Random Dungeon Finder. Yes, I want it in the game. And people see that as the downfall of Wrath, where they're like, well, random dungeon finder, that was what ruined the social aspect, whatever. Like, I don't agree with that, but that doesn't mean I'm right.
Well, I think
I'm one person.
I've always said that the raid finder is what was the downfall. I don't think random dungeon finder had anything to do with that. Raids where you get to know people, where you actually get with your guild, where you actually can do things like, and
Listen,
like it
we
seems
have
like
raid
Blizzard,
finders.
like
they're called GDKPs. We already have it. Like,
but we should also respect the, you know, as in like me. So what I was going to say was like, I don't feel like I would have random dungeon finder in the game now. Like when Wrath launches, I would have it in.
Me too.
But I like the fact that they're making changes and they are actually at least trying to make things better. They don't believe that it makes the game better. So let's see where it goes. You know, I would rather they was ballsy enough to make changes than just do what we say, you know, and go, oh, well, we'll give you a random dungeon finder then. Like, yeah, have it. And then we have it. And then it does just turn into another 3.3.5 private server, which is ultimately what people are wanting. That's what they're asking for. But if they give us something that we're not asking for and we moan about it and then it ends up being different but better, we'll go, oh, actually, they were a little bit right. That's quite enjoyable. It's the same way everyone's moaning about, oh, well, I don't want to be doing heroics every day. Well, what are you doing then? Like, if they don't scale up the heroics and make them more challenging and maybe add extra rewards and all these different things they can do, what are you doing when you're online?
right.
Yeah. Well, but back to the Brewfest thing. The reason
wow, what a segue. That was brilliant.
The reason that I don't think it's good is because of the timing. If they pushed it 6 weeks, I think it'd be completely fine, right? I mean, then everybody would have a chance, because that's basically when it came in, right? Like that's when it came in to TBC, right? Like we were like, I mean, we were like in like just getting ready to go into the next phase of content, right? I think that's when it came in, because the trinkets were like the same as the badge trinket, which is the same here. Like,
yeah, no, it would have been a full year later. It was a year after launch. Obviously, it launched in November, so Wrath launched in November, and Brewfest was in October.
No. I mean TBC. Like when TBC Classic, like it was
probably at the end of Karazhan.
Yeah, it was at the end of Kara and all that. Like, so it was a great time for it to come in. Like, if they just I mean, it's a fictional event. Couldn't they just push it a few, you know, like 4 to 6 weeks, and then everybody would have a chance, you know, all the casuals, everybody who has jobs and can't play 24/7, they would have all had a chance to get in on it easily. You know, I think that would have been an easy thing for them to do. And they've pushed things like this before, so why not?
It's not fictional though, is it?
Well, it's fictional in the game. Right?
But it's meant to be in with the beer fest type thing around the same time in Denmark, is it, or somewhere like that?
It's in
Belgium or Germany?
Belgium, that's
Germany,
the one.
yeah.
Belgium's the one. Yeah.
But I mean, do you need it?
I don't pay attention to what happens here.
But in a like a make-believe world, do you need it to be at the same time as in real life? Like, do they just want you really drunk when you do it? You know, I guess, like, I don't know.
It winds up with all of the
every month's Oktoberfest for me.
So it could be any month. There we go.
Yeah, I think Christmas would be a weird one to move, but I mean, and Halloween might be a weird one to move, but honestly, I mean, you can fictionally enjoy these different, you know, holiday things at any time of the year.
At any time of the year.
And Brewfest seems to be like, I mean, who wouldn't want to have Oktoberfest at all times?
Right. And with no armory in the game, you know, it was always a thing where I would always dress my characters up. So when people looked at me up in the armory, I had the character in costume or something, like in Brewfest garb or something. You know, you can't do that with no armory. just another reason to bring the armory into the game.
Bringing it back. Bringing it back.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
that's the last thing I'd ever do with it, if I'm honest. No, I'm just saying. I'm just like, you know, being honest. Like, last thing I'd do on the armory is dress my character up.
Same.
But I have got a daughter who like makes me dress up dolls and stuff. So, and I do take great pride in it as well. I always do it better than her. She's rubbish, but she is 5.
oh,
Do
man.
what you can.
All right. So then October 4th and 5th, the Arena Season 5 starts up. So basically a week after launch. I thought that was really fast, but I mean, cool.
Yeah.
And then the raids open up October 6th. Ooh. So like, how do you guys really feel about the October 6th raids launching? Like, are you mad that they're launching at a certain time later, or do you think it's too soon, too long?
I personally think that's very generous. Yeah, I think that's perfect. Actually, I've got nothing bad to say about it. But I'm also a little bit old school. I would have them open from the start. Like, I literally wouldn't even have a delay.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people have been complaining about. So I was just curious how you guys felt about that.
I mean, selfishly, I like it because we're going to be out of town. So
no, but it's not good though, Mel. We thought they were waiting 2 weeks. Like, this is basically a little bit over a week after launch, and us, along with a ton of the classic content creators, are going to be at TwitchCon. So this is going to be an interesting first raid lockout for us all.
Well, the 26th is Monday, and then October 6th it's a week. It's almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, nearly 2 weeks. Yeah. I've got a calendar open in front of me. I'm looking at it now. But it's almost 2 weeks. A few days short of 2 weeks. Yes.
Oh shit. Well, yeah. Well, October 7th
it's still
through
quite short.
Yeah, October 7th through 9th is TwitchCon, and us, along with a ton of the U.S. and Canada-based, creators, are going to be at TwitchCon, trying to figure out how we're going to raid on our laptops during the parties at TwitchCon. It's going to be a hot mess.
But you're not.
I'm hoping the internet goes down there and none of you can even log on.
It will.
I'll just say it as it is. Like, we're all hoping the same thing. There's not a single person hoping for good things right now for you.
For the content creators, I know. It's I guess like Sarth and Cargos and Duranosaur and Winky and like a whole bunch of people have a big old house, so maybe they'll all be able to get their computers going. And hopefully that house has good internet is all I have to say.
I'm gonna DDoS that house.
Yes, you should.
Oh man. But yeah, I mean,
Bob and I will just go like with the since we won't be able to raid, we'll just go with some like Wi-Fi interrupter things. I don't even know if those exist, but I'm sure they do. Stand next to the house while they're trying to raid. Just listen to them.
No, I think what we should do is go there and do an on-site podcast and just move from room to room with all of them raiding. Like, what is Sarth up to right now? Sarth, tell us about your run right now. Dude, get out of here. I'm trying to run fast. We're doing a speed run.
That would be great, though. That would be great. Like, I'd be watching. Definitely.
Just all of them on one episode, and everybody just drinking and just coming in on the mic every once in a while. It'd be great.
Yeah, it makes me want to fly over for it.
Oh, Scotty,
just why not?
I got you at least a 12-pack.
Yeah? All right. Have you got me a bed, though? I mean, a 12-pack will be great before I go to sleep, but have I got somewhere to sleep, or it's fairly pointless?
We could probably have the hotel bring out one of them cot things.
Yeah.
That'll do. I'll sleep in that. Let's go.
Be a good time. Be a good time.
Right.
All right. Well, so yeah, that's basically the the timeline. And so I guess like I guess it is like almost 2 weeks. Like I've been freaking out because I heard on another podcast that it was a week, and I was like, what? But yeah, it's just gonna be rough that first week for us specifically, but I think it's probably a good timing system for everybody else.
Yeah.
Do you like that though? Like all of you, like in general, do you like the fact that there is a time gate? Would it not be better that, like, if you're fast, you get to 80, you all get in a group quick, and then you go and smash through it, rather than it being like, oh, we get all this time to prepare. Yeah, we get all this time where we can all get to 80, and then we can get as much gear as possible, and then we go in. Wouldn't it be better if it was like, it launches, the raids are open?
Am I talking for me, or am I talking what I think's best for everyone?
Up to you. I speak when I speak for me. I speak for everyone who agrees with me. If they don't agree with me, they're wrong.
I think for the health of the general population at large, I think this is a really good thing that lets people relax and level the way that they want to level. But for me personally, like I would love to have it open sooner, and because I know I'm going to be at that level sooner. But with this, I know I'm going to be able to have 2 characters ready to like actually go hard.
So I think this is pretty good to actually have that little time gate, because I actually started a guild based off of the community that I have. It's not directly related, but our main focus is to go kind of against the speed running community. We're not really going to be that type of guild. We're going to focus on mainly getting the achievements. So first, we're gonna clear the content, but we also want to prioritize the achievements and be one of the first guilds on the server to start selling them, to also just start just getting everything complete in the raid. That's more of the goal. A lot of us enjoy the raiding, so we're not really trying to speed clear it in 15 minutes and then our enjoyment for the week's gone. But I think nothing's gonna feel worse when, say, me and 3 other guildies rush to 80, and then we've got 25 players, so some of the guildies are not going to be able to get level 80 in that same time period. So it's going to feel bad to have for week 1 half of us are raiding, half of us aren't, because some people could not catch up to the other players in leveling. So I think it's pretty good for that as a guild master point of view.
Yeah, that's
is that not life? Does life not feel pretty bad? I'm just being honest. As in, like, well, yeah, it would be lovely if all of us had the same amount of time to play. I'm just thinking, like, if you buy a game, if I bought like all of us now, we all said, right, let's play The Witcher 3. All of us are going to play The Witcher 3, and then we'll all meet up at max level and do some stuff. Whoever's got the most time is going to be ready to do it first.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, that's just how games work. The more time you've got to invest, the quicker you are to be able to do whatever you need to be able to do. So, like, I get the whole sort of global releases of things, where it's like, right, Wrath is going to drop at this time for everybody. It's not like it goes out live when NA get their pre-patch or post-patch. Let's call it post-patch, and then EU. It's like it goes out for everybody. But then when it should almost be like, yeah, fucking run nuts now. Go do what you want to do. Like, it's open. Phase 1's open. Just go and if you're quick, if you've got 20 people that can really quickly get to 80. That surely adds more excitement as well, where it's like, well, you've got that. You need to get to fucking max level, or you are not going to be the first person in your guild to clear that content.
Right.
And I know we're not talking speed running now, but just in general, it all becomes more transparent the way we live now. Where it's like, it's on Warcraft logs, it's a fucking Twitch streamer, it's a YouTuber, their guild was first, but that doesn't actually matter. Like, you as the average person, it's about, like, you just being in your guild and being one of the first to do it.
Well, here,
I don't know, honestly, it feels like I was on the page where, yeah, I agree. I think it's nice to have this little gated time in where I don't have to stress too much, but to be fair, I feel like that should be on the guilds, right? If you want to say like, hey, we're going to run our first raid on this day, everybody who can get up to max level, get up to max level. If not, we understand, we'll run another raid in a week, right? But like, that's up to the guilds to how sweaty they want to be, not necessarily Blizzard to gate it so that people can't be sweaty and go level and, you know, run a raid in 2 days. You know, why not?
Naxx is a good raid too. Like if they did release it at the beginning and say, you know, you only have 10 people you can do it with, like you could just do a 10-man and, you know, you still get some type of progression. You know, I think they could have done that where they just released it on day one, but you know, I don't know. They chose to do something different. The 10-man, like we're building a 10-man off of, so we're building our best 10-man for Undying. So we're kind of, we're going off of that as well. So, I mean, the guild has to start with a core 10-man, and those guys, I wouldn't say they carry the guild, but you know, with any group, there's always going to be like those players that are just like, you know, the hard chargers, you know, and right. I think that's what they could have still done with it, with this, released it the first day, and just like guilds could have focused on a 10-man that could get to that point.
It's not competitive, is it? I don't see it. Like, I love Classic, don't get me wrong, but it's not retail. It's not competitive to the point where it's like, oh my God, we literally was world first. Well, you weren't world first.
Yeah.
Because it was like world first happened 13 years ago, mate, or 15 years ago. Like, you was not world first to anything. So when it's not that competitive, it's regurgitated material, which, by the way, has been regurgitated fucking hundreds of times on private servers. It's like, you don't need to try and make it fair or even or whatever. It's like, well, just release it. You know, you get to, once you're 80, you can raid. Not like once you're 80, you feel the need to farm loads of pre-raid gear to then go in and do, like, it's pointless. It's pointless. That's how I'll leave it at that. It's pointless.
Like, let me push back on at least the world first thing. So it is world first Classic. I mean, Classic is different. Like, in many ways, like moving in, we're going to have Lust, you know, like Classic's different than it was in the past and different than it was on private servers. So it is the world first for Classic, quote unquote, right?
But the majority of the world first guilds on Classic were all ex-private server players.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
So they've all been doing it for years.
But they've been doing it on like a little bit different client, you know, like I mean, quite a bit different in different ways, with like the different ways that it does buffs, the different ways that things proc, the different, you know, the
broken clients.
Yeah, so basically, like that is a world first there. But there were so many things you guys talked about in that where I was waiting. But as far as gating people, I think the world first could have been really interesting to watch, because it would have been a lot more about the leveling shenanigans that everybody came up with, like it was in TBC, like how they got their guys to max level like as soon as possible. Whereas this time, I don't know if it'll be better, but it'll be definitely, it won't be about how fast they level. It'll be about how many guilds can actually get there to compete for that. So I think you'll have more guilds actually competing for world first because of the weight. But it was kind of interesting to see the shenanigans that people came up with to get max level as fast as possible when the TBC launch happened. So I'm kind of like, I'm kind of just like, since I'm not going for world first or anything, I'm kind of just interested to see what this is like this time around, because it's different.
Yeah.
Basically, that's
I agree.
Yeah, and I do think it puts like some undue stress on a lot of different people that are not in the big guilds, but they're in a guild where they just don't have as much time as everybody. Like, because a lot of the people that raid log, and like they don't have a ton of time. So if they're not going to get to take off of work, they don't have a ton of time to do that. So yeah, that's where I think it's a good thing.
And nobody wants to be that guy who lets their guild down. You know, you have everybody. Maybe it's a new guild you just joined for Wrath, you know, or it's a guild you've been in for a while, and you guys have a lot of, you know, a connection or a bond between each other in the guild. Like, you don't want to be that one guy who can't make level 80 for the first raid, and then, you know, but you work. So how are you can't choose work. You know, real life has to come, you know, first, because you can't just, like, you know, not quit working. Most people can't. And, you know, you have responsibilities. So I think it feels bad to have, you know, to have that kind of pressure, and something that's supposed to be an enjoyment, something you're supposed to take, you know, it's getting you out of the real world. You're kind of just playing for fun, you know, instead this feels like it's more stressful.
Yeah, I think it's definitely better than it was going from classic vanilla to TBC, because that was scary, because guilds were going from 40 man to 25 man, and you're like, well, I don't want to be the last to, like, not get leveled up, because I want to be in the raid, and cuts are definitely happening, right? You know, like, so you're just like, like, so I guess it's not as scary as that was, but, you know, it'll definitely be interesting to see what it goes. I think all in all, for the health of the majority of the population, it's probably a good thing. And it'll be an interesting way to see how the world first goes this time around, like what different types of preparation they take rather than leveling preparation, which they're going to do leveling preparation, but it's not going to matter as much to us. Like,
right.
So,
well, maybe Athene will come back to the game.
Who?
Athene, do you remember Athene? He always used to make those videos about the greatest paladin in the world.
He was going to be the world first level 80.
Level 80.
But he got banned.
He got banned like level 79 and a half in a dungeon because he was doing mob tagging. And then he was one of the first players to get all the achievements in the game. He ended up, I believe he started a cult. And then he ended up getting arrested or something. I'm not sure on the full details of that. But
yeah, Chad even says he's too busy with his cult.
he stopped making YouTube content. I believe his channel, most of his videos got taken down, but he was pretty funny. That was probably the first YouTube creator that I started watching back in the day.
Interesting.
He's kept the cult going.
Yeah.
He's now started his own cult called I Love Athene /YouTube. No, /YouTube I Love Athene.
Yeah.
Nice.
if you've never seen him, check out his videos. He's pretty funny. A lot of his content was he used to have this guy sit in the back of his videos, and I can't remember what he called him. It was like slave boy or something like that. And he would just have this guy sit back there in like full, just like a leather vest or something, and like a little top hat or something, you know. And he would just make him sit there and play his account for him and shit like that. It was funny.
Huh.
Oh, Bob's like, someone done it before me. Sorry, Mel.
All right, well, guys, the last thing on this list is the Wrath beta development notes, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in here, but I didn't know if there was anything you guys really wanted to talk about. They're just kind of up here, if you can see them in the notes.
I mean, I seen Naxx they fixed the Instructor Resuvius thing where the Death Knights wouldn't clear on the wipe. That was good. I mean,
well,
that was
helpful.
Weren't we using that for something? We were using that for something. We were keeping them up and then taking them into the next fight. I don't know.
I mean, Strand of Ancients only just going out for testing. You know, when I say only just, like in the last few days, about 4 days ago. I mean, that's interesting on the basis that should be fully functional in 9 days.
Because that should be available in the pre-patch, huh?
And not only in the pre-patch, it's the first call to arms as well. So in the pre-patch, the first call to arms weekend is Strand of Ancients.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that
and on the basis everybody's trying to get bonus honor.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking over these, see if there's anything bug fixes.
I mean, show low level quest is cool. You know, that's cool. Showing low level quests on the mini map, that's cool.
Oh,
especially for people like AngryDruid, who seems absolutely livid at the moment. You know, like trying to get low level quests done and being able to track them on without an add-on. That's good.
So is Wrath where the question marks and quest marks show up on the map without Questy? Is that when that happened? I think it is, isn't it?
As in on the world, not world map, but you know, on the big map when you press M. Yes. As in the in-game quest helper. No, they don't, but they should.
Oh. Yeah.
Originally, that was in Mist, wasn't it? That they started to add the quest to the map like that, or was it Wrath of the Lich King?
No, it was Wrath.
I thought it was Wrath.
In Wrath, you could
when they
see
put in the quest help. Yeah, the quest thing.
But they seem to be struggling with implementation. But they did say it weren't going to be in. So they had an interview with some gaming channel on YouTube and said it weren't going to be in. And then they had another one where they then said it is going to be in. So it is going to be in, apparently.
Right.
But I don't know.
It looks like they went through the dollar and vendors and were taking off things that shouldn't be in there. Seems like they're cleaning up a little bit in Dalaran. They took the epic gems out. They took the Kirin Tor ring upgrades. I think they removed the vendor, the frozen orb vendor. I'm not sure if that guy's in here or not, but they did take out at least the gems and the Kirin Tor ring guys for those for the upgrades.
Dude, the Kirin Tor ring was hilarious that you were able just upgrade it to the ICC version of it.
Yeah.
I was like sitting here.
I just love seeing people make videos about it though, Bob, where they're making videos like you can literally instantly get a 245 ring. No, you can't, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, dude. I had to say it on the show, guys. That's in the beta. Like, that's not going to be the way it is. You're going to get to do one of those upgrades every tier of content. This is like that last upgrade is the ICC one when ICC launches. But like, yeah, there are definitely some of the creators like could definitely do with just doing a little bit of research before they jump into making a video.
No.
That'd be nice.
What's the fun in that?
Well, that's why they stay small. Oh, all right. Well, yeah, I don't see anything else really. Like, it's really just bug fixes and stuff. I'll put it into show notes for anybody that wants to see, but like, really just don't see anything to really talk about.
I think the hunter one, the exotic pets now, you can't. So if you're not Beast Mastery, you can't take exotic pets out of the stable. So you can't train them and then put them in the stable and then switch to marksman and now take them back out. I think that's pretty good.
Oh, see, I don't even know what this is. So this is a Beastmaster hunter thing where they could actually have a stronger pet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's certain pets that only Beast Mastery hunters can use, like spirit beasts and like the Lok Nahak one, the guy that's in Sholazar Basin.
Sholazar Basin.
Yeah. So like there's certain ones only hunters can use it and certain specs. And I think what there was a bug where you could pull the pet out and then use it and then switch, or you could switch specs and then pull it back out of the stable.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So that goes along the lines of them trying to, like, you know, with the buffs and different specs too. So
improve fawns, or keeping out a ghoul as DKs. Yeah. Again, just bug shit that it goes without saying that it's not meant to be intentional.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's good that they're keeping on it. I'm gonna have to say I'm pretty happy with how Blizzard's really like pushing. Oh, Okay, so Wintergrasp is now available for testing, but they changed it. So when they first came out and said they were going to make the change, they were going to make it what they call it. It's a retail term, Epic Battleground or something like that, which means 40 on 40, right?
Right.
Well, it looks like they're going to support up to 120 players, so it'll be at least 60 on 60 now, which is a new change that I had not seen.
So it says that they may lower for testing purposes. So it sounds to me like maybe they're not 100% sure if it's going to be 120. Maybe, hopefully, I hope it's 120. I hope it's 200 on 200. But that it just sounds to me like they're maybe not sure what they're going to do with it yet.
It still looks like they're trying to push it higher, because there were a bunch of people saying the 40 on 40 just wasn't enough. So this is kind of neat to see that they're actually pushing it higher.
Yeah, I think that's good. Wintergrasp just wouldn't feel like Wintergrasp without like at least 100 on 100. Just having that epic battle with the demolishers and the siege engines coming at the fortress, and you're waiting on your last minute push to get through the wall, and you've got a whole team of 100 players just sitting there trying to stop it. It just seems like that's just one of the epic things that came up with Wrath.
Yeah, and
40 would feel just like a big push. Yeah. It would just be 40 people that are trying against probably 40 people that are AFK. And then you just, right. It would be like, you do need a lot of people for Wintergrasp.
Well, what was it before? Was it 100 on 100?
120. It was 120. Yeah. I think it was 120 versus 120 originally.
Wow. Okay, so this is actually going to push it up to two of that. I didn't even see each faction. This is going to be awesome. Okay, that's so cool, because with their
this is
verbiage,
120 versus 120.
Yeah, their verbiage prior was Epic Battleground, or whatever the term is for 40 on 40 in retail. I think it was Epic Battleground. Maybe Chad can help me. This will be really cool. Okay. Oh, also, did any of you? I know you guys have gone over what they talked about. Does it feel like when they said it's going to be once, every certain amount of hours, did you feel like they were basically saying it's only going to be one instance of Wintergrasp going for all the servers in that region? Because that's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, I kind of got the same thing from that. That seems like a lot of players are not going to get a chance to do it.
I've talked to a lot of people, and they seem to think that there's going to be multiple ones running, but their verbiage sounded like it's just for each region there's going to be one Wintergrasp every 3 hours or whatever the timing is.
No, it should be multiple.
Do you think so?
It should be. I would imagine as many as they can fill.
Well, if this is cross server, so originally with the Battleground being server wide or server specific, an alliance wins. If they have multiple ones going at a given time, I'm kind of curious how they're going to do it, where, what realm you're on, what faction takes for that time period. So you can do VOA and all that. I don't think that having it on, cross realm is I think it's a good thing to have it cross realm Battlegrounds, but whenever it comes down to the server specific stuff, I wonder how they're going to do that.
Yeah, because if they just ran one for every region, then only one faction would own Wintergrasp at one time. So anybody...
Well, no, but you don't need one person to win from your server.
Yeah.
Right, so what if you had two Battlegrounds running, one, the Alliance wins, and then 2 minutes later, the Horde wins?
Yeah.
Then
so
Wintergrasp is controlled by both.
To everyone. Be available to everyone.
Oh.
And
there's no alliance, so we're good.
But do you want it any other way? When you really think about it, do you want to be the faction balance is shit. We all know that. Like, it's pretty bad. So would you want it being that you're on the underrepresented faction and never get to do VOA?
But you wouldn't be because across all of these servers, it's basically 50-50. So like if you're doing cross BGs, now I haven't checked like EU versus like US versus Oceanic, but like across all of the servers, it's about 50-50. So this would make it so you're actually still doing the work. It's just like it's on everybody in the region, and then on your server, if Alliance had won that battle, then on Benediction we'd be like, yay, we can raid. But on Fair Alita, they'd be like, fuck, we can't raid.
Yeah, and I hope they tie it to the server somewhat. Like part of the VOA, Vault of Archivon was always, you wanted to win. If you didn't win, you didn't get to do the raid you wanted to do. So sometimes, like that brought a lot of people with more competitive spirit into the Wintergrasp, just because they were competing to win, to play the raid that they wanted to do for their PvP gear.
Yeah, because they have the time now.
They can't do that, but they can't do that now, like server wide, because none of the servers are actually balanced.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing with servers. But I hope they do something so that you winning the battleground counts for something towards your server, so that you can, even if it's if your alliance on the low represented alliance server, if you just compete with a multi, like a cross faction, hopefully they can do something to just make it so that competing in Wintergrasp to win is something that gets you that to open the vault.
And that's what makes me think that there's only going to be one.
But disagrees, I disagree massively. Should you gate PvE content behind PvP? So
that's what they did in the past, yeah.
But Vault of Archivon really isn't for PvE players. It drops PvP gear for the most part. From what I remember, it does drop some. Drops some gear for PvE, but
it drops both.
Well, it drops both. It drops both. It drops PvP and PvE. But a PvE player will do Vault of Archivon for PvE gear.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, they're not going in there for PvP gear. So should like a PvE player, if we're trying to make it fair, shouldn't really be at a disadvantage, if you know what I mean. They like.
But I guess at
if
the
you was
same time,
Alliance,
PvE players have to, or PvP players have to do PvE content to be the best geared for PvE.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Wintergrasp is kind of both. Wintergrasp has a lot of PvE aspects in the game. It's like for the battleground. Like I do think, it's obviously you gain honor. It's a PvP type thing, but I would consider it, more so of like an open world PvP / PvE content. I think it was like one of the first times, other than the Alteric Valley. Other than that, that was one of the first times they actually got PvE players and PvP players to engage together in like one effort together.
Yeah, because you had to on your server, but if that was my whole point, is if it is only one BG per region every 3 hours, people are gonna try hard. Like if they get into that queue, they are going to try hard to make sure that happens. If it's multiple, then you would have a situation where it's available to you, like regardless, because like if there's 3 or 4 of them, you probably have at least one of the opposite faction win, and then so it's just available to everybody. So I mean, if you like that aspect, then you would want multiple. But if you like the fact that like you're really playing for something big, then only one per region would be awesome, I think.
Right. And the original time it was 4 hours or 6 hours? I think there was a time period.
I thought it was 3 hours, but I could be wrong.
Maybe it was 3.
I mean, I could look it up real quick.
I have no idea.
It's like 2.5 hours, I believe.
Was it 2.5?
I think it's 2.5 rings a bell.
I don't want to give too much dead time. I was just looking for the timing of it. But I mean, that's all I was pointing out is if it is multiple ones, it's probably going to be like, yeah, Scotty's right. 2.5 hours, every 2.5 hours it would run. And if it's, if it's multiple ones, then you're definitely going to have some that are going to take advantage of the tenacity build because there's not going to be enough people. If it's just one, you probably have 120 on 120 every time that you get in one. So it's kind of like the pros and cons to both ways to doing it. But I think if it's just one, it really puts onus on winning because like you only have that chance every 2.5 hours. Multiple ones, most likely you're going to win somewhere.
You might get into situations where, people get very toxic with certain people that come in that maybe aren't as good or as geared as they think is necessary to complete. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you get that everywhere. In every BG you go in, you're like, oh shit, I'm with a bunch of shitters.
But we are living in a world where it's very, the PvE scene is very competitive to the point where we need to release global releases of old content that's been done hundreds of times. Yeah. So like I just want to point that out. So to the point where we need to do that. So then what we're saying is, well, if you're on a slightly, a battle group that's slightly one-sided, you might never, ever be able to get your 2-piece tier 7, 2-piece tier 8, 2-piece tier 9, 2-piece tier 10 for free. That makes a big difference. Well, you're saving about 30, 40 heroic dungeons by getting one of those pieces.
Right.
Let me check real quick to see. Okay, so let's just do Americas and Oceanic, which are okay. So that's 48.6 Alliance, 51.4 percent Horde. Now let's add.
That's pretty even.
Let's look at Europe. Europe is 45.9 Ally, 54.1 Horde. Let's do Russia. These are the only ones I can check on Ironforge. Russia's a little rough, 40% Alliance and 59.8% Horde. Russia would actually like really screw because like they only have basically a little under 10,000 population. But for EU and Americas and Oceanic, it'd probably be fine.
Yeah, but you're going by region. Like thinking about servers or battle groups where it's massively skewed.
Well, but no,
there will be people that never get to see a winter grasp.
But they are going to be cross server.
Yeah, but there is no battle groups though now. Like it's just like the Americas queue together and Europe queues together. Now I don't know about Oceania. And I think Oceania like definitely queues with themselves because there was a big old uprising about that before TBC. And Oceania, I can't check. Like with the tools on IronForge.pro, I can't check, so I don't know what the overall Oceania.
That's how Winter Grasp is going to work. It's going to be entire region versus region.
Yeah, it's going to be basically BGs. Is that confirmed? Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's confirmed here in the notes. It was confirmed like prior to this week. It's not in the notes that I sent you, but it was confirmed prior. Like it's no longer server. Yeah, it is definitely an instance BG now that you go cross server.
So they could link it. So they could just link every server.
Okay.
They Horde and Alliance.
So yeah,
and then whichever one wins.
Yeah, if you didn't know that part, you probably thought we were fucking crazy when we were talking this whole time.
Well, no, I knew as in the basis it only took one person on your server to win, and then you got the buff.
Yeah. And so, but you're going to be fighting people and like joining with people on all the servers in your region, just like a BG would.
Okay. Yeah, I genuinely didn't realize it was like that.
Yeah, it was a change. Like a couple weeks ago, we covered it on the show. But yeah, they basically we actually covered it on the show with Rugs and Salve and Salve Dally, whichever show that was, like 3 weeks ago. And so they came out and said, "Hey, there's no way we can do the server one, so we're going to do cross server, and then anybody on your faction that wins cross server makes it so your entire server is open for it." So that's why I was pointing out, like, it would be kind of cool if there was only one instance of Winter Grasp for that entire region every 2.5 hours, because then it would actually put onus on winning.
Yeah, maybe you see now, Scotty, where I was trying to come from with that. I'm not sure if you knew that, but I listened to the podcast that he was that actually he was talking about from a couple weeks ago, and that's where I got that it was going to be like a region-wide thing.
Here, I could actually pull up the
it was more
notes from
battle
that.
group wide. I didn't realize that it was an entire region. You know, as in like that. I thought it was more broken down into smaller groups.
Yeah, and
do you know what I mean? As in battle groups. No, not battle groups. Not region. Like, that's humongous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that could have been good too, but like that's not where they're going. Where's it at?
But that basically means that everyone's going to have VOA active at all times.
Yeah.
If there is multiple,
their faction wins.
Yeah, if there's multiple battle groups, then everyone in a region would have it always, because at least one of them is going to win.
Yeah, which means, but yeah, more or less, it's going to be highly unlikely for any server to not have one, well, other than the really underpopulated servers, to not have somebody that's in a winning team.
I wonder what they would do if there was nobody on the server to win, though. Would the battleground, would it close the zone off completely to everybody, or would it be, open to just the faction that had already had control? I wonder how that would work.
Well, if they were going to do it the old way, it would definitely do that. But like doing it across, I'm trying to find the actual note to show you, Scotty, but I'm failing here. Rugs was super into the topic when we talked about it. Here. Nope. Oh, okay. They added to the top of it. Where's it at? I wish I could like actually show you this, where they talk about it.
No, you could just read it out.
Yeah, but I'm trying to find it. I just went back to my notes from that pod, because it was talked about way earlier in a blue post where they really went into like, hey, this is our plans for. If I do a.
Oh, it'll be more. How do the battlegrounds work now? I thought it was in battle groups, not in overall regions.
Oh no, yeah. Like when I queue NA, I queue for every single server in NA.
That's how it'll work.
Yeah, when you queue in EU, you queue to every single one. It used to be battle groups back in the day. Like I was in BG9, which was like pretty like awesome, but like now it's like everybody.
Well, that's how Winter Grasp will work then. Yeah, but I'm not someone who PvPs, so I don't know. When you queue for Battleground, what you get into, I literally have no idea.
Yeah, I'm failing at actually finding this actual link for you, because I'd love to find it. But basically, yeah, it's gonna queue just like BG's, which is your entire region. And so, so I think like we don't really see a problem unless I can't see Oceanics like total population, Alley and Horde. But it looks like for EU and for NA, we're probably fine because it's pretty equal. Like, but so we're talking in circles though. But the only thing I was saying is if you only have one, it's really gonna like make it like you want to win this because you actually will have to wait 2.5 hours. There's no one on another Wintergrasp BG that could win for you and still get you in to Wintergrasp. So it's kind of still the same way it was back on the server. It's just like you're fighting with all of NA instead of, so even the like alliance on the small servers where they're dominated by Horde, they could actually get Wintergrasp when Alliance won on NA side.
So still, the majority of people are probably going to have Wintergrasp available like as a winner on every server.
If there's multiple ones, yeah.
Because you just, even if you're the one guy, you go in as the one guy with 39 or 59 or 69 other people and still win.
Yeah, and if there's multiples, there'll be games that have like less people, but I think if there's only one, you'll just have one game of 120 people. It'll be whoever queued first. Like you'll actually have like an epic BG every 2.5 hours because there'll be enough people throughout the entirety of NA, but there'll be a ton of people that don't get in if you only have one also. So
since it's like a battleground chat, it'll be like a battleground, like an instanced version of the battleground. So maybe like I know back in the day you would have like raid group 1, raid group 2, raid group 3. You know, it was hard to communicate with all 3 raid groups because, you know, you'd have 40 players that knew what was going on and then 40 other players who were picking herbs or, you know, whatever they were doing. And, you know, so maybe they'd have it linked with BG chat, like some kind of like actually linked chat that we can all communicate.
Dude, I don't remember ever chatting with anybody in Wintergrasp. I just remember being there at that gate, trying to get into the gate, then trying to get into the rest of the part. Oh, all right. Well, we went on that tangent for a while. If anybody wants to actually like tell us in the comments, write it into us from the audio side. And we're going to move in though to talking about achievements with AngryDruid. And I'm going to get to use my bumper real quick.
Bobby, we need to have a talk about this World of Warcraft Classic. Do I look like I know what a WoW token is?
All right, AngryDruid. Right. Oh, I'm on the wrong notes now because I was trying to find that.
I love that. Thing. I love that King of the Hill thing.
Dude, isn't that great?
Is awesome.
Yeah, the guy that did that for us was actually the guy that was featured in Pint's video where he took out his old guild back in the day in Classic. Yeah, there was actually 2 people from our guild that helped him do that. Viscount and Bradshaw, and Bradshaw is the one that made that. He used to talk like that in Raid all the time. I was like, dude, you've got to make me a podcast bumper. And so that's the one I got.
Yeah, awesome. I love it.
All right, well, let's get to know just a little bit of background on you really quick. When did you start playing WoW originally?
So I think I was right around a freshman in high school. I was probably about 2005-ish, maybe the end of 2004. We were playing, me and my buddies played RuneScape together. And we basically, one of them, his older brother got WoW. And it came with, you know, back in the day, the WoW game would come with those 2-week trial subscription cards. So, and they weren't like the trial version now. It was more of like you put in the code and it gave you 2 weeks of game time. And so, you know, I was playing WoW off those, I don't know, as many times as I could. My parents wouldn't let me buy the $5 RuneScape subscription at the time was hard to get, you know, so the $15 WoW thing, I was like a crackhead fiending for something. Like I was asking all my friends, hey, can you you give me one of your 2-week free WoW cards, you know. And so, I really got into it. My first experience in the game was Ironforge. That was what drew me into the game. I made a Dwarf Warrior starting out. You know, I'm on my mom's Windows 95.
That really is the best city in all of Azeroth. Can we all agree? Ironforge?
Without a doubt. Best music as well.
So I remember in RuneScape, you know, when a player said, "Hey, follow me," it meant they were going to take you to the top of the zone and they were going to kill you and take all your stuff. Well, so in RuneScape, you can kill players if you take them to the top, and you know you can kill them and you get their stuff on it drops. So I thought
this is like Ultima Online, which I played back in the day, where you just looted everybody's stuff when you killed them. It was great.
Yeah, awesome system, but a lot of new players would get scammed by it. But so I'm in Karanos, the little city before Ironforge, and this like naked rogue or something is just jumping around. He's like, "Hey, follow me. You know, there's a city up here." And the game was so new and nobody knew anything about it. So I was just like, "Yeah, I'll try this out. You know, I'll see." And I start going up this hill, and then I step into this just huge, massive city with these dwarfs outside. And I was just, man, I was impressed. That was the last thing like I had to see before I knew I would play this game for a long time. But nice. I played on and off. I never hit max level in Classic, and I never hit like in Original, and I never hit max level in TBC even. It was Wrath of the Lich King was the first expansion when I was out of high school, you know, and I was just playing the game. I had nothing really to do. I didn't have kids yet. And we were, you know, me and a couple buddies from work were playing it. I would say the first time I actually started raiding was Wrath of the Lich King in maybe the end of Alduar, maybe beginning of TOC.
That's kind of like, I mean, a lot of the content creators around the Classic scene are all like that, you know, like I'm like the weird boomer that actually like did, you know, all the content in Classic or in real vanilla back in the day, because I'm an old dude, you know.
Yeah.
Scotty's a little old, but not close to me though.
Mate, I am as old as you, for Christ's sake. How old are you?
I'm 32. I'm only 32.
Come on,
so.
Let's bring ages out. 32.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, I don't want to.
You might be older than me, but not skilled. Come on, how old are you, Bob? Come on.
I'm a little bit over 40.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I've got older brothers that got me into gaming. So, yeah. I mean, I was playing MMOs before WoW even was in beta. You know, I was on Star Wars Galaxies. I was on City of Heroes.
Oh, Scotty.
Old school RuneScape, but proper RuneScape.
Scotty,
proper RuneScape.
Did you know I was one of the first Jedi in Star Wars Galaxies?
Oh,
I heard
Did you know my brother was my brother who I protected through how his Padawan journeys was the first Jedi on Bria.
Wow.
We've never spoke about this before, but
what server was I on? I don't even know. But he was the first person. Like we bought it. That I even remember we went out to buy a game, and this sounds weird. Who goes out to buy a game? Like nowadays, who goes like, I'm going to buy a game and puts on their little backpack? I mean, we didn't have backpacks. We weren't fucking Mario and Luigi, but like, who goes out to go and buy a game? Like me and my brother went out. We went, got McDonald's, went to Curry's, and I was like, oh my, like Star Wars. There's a Star Wars game, and he was like, let's get it. And we bought Star Wars Galaxies. And it was like fucking mind blowing. We didn't even know what it was. You just created a character. And like we'd never played an MMO before, you know. We just created a character, and it was like this is the weirdest thing. Like there's no guidance, there's no nothing. We're just like this geezer in Star Wars, dude. So, Scotty, like, okay, so you'll actually appreciate this. So,
oh my gosh.
So, okay.
Yep, please do ignore Mel.
Me and my roommate. We had like, we were doing, remember how you could create, or you could, the one skill to control beasts. Like
Yeah, Beastmaster. Yeah. Well, use a creature handler. Handler.
So like I had Rancors and different things, and I hung out on God, I can't remember the name of the planet, but you killed like these really high level mobs, and
Dathomir.
they dropped holocrons like they were going out of style. And so I used 2 of them to tell me what you
need to master.
Yeah.
What do I need to master, Holocron? Yep. Yeah. And then the third one goes silent, and then you go freestyle it.
But I had worked up so many different things prior to everything coming out, and then dropped them, and then worked up something else. I used 2, and on the second one, I got Jedi, and then I was able to sell the other 7 and just be rich in the game from that point on. Like the first thing I did is I just every day would make a new Jedi and just destroy towns. Like I would just go around and just like pull out the saber, everybody'd freak out. I'd kill everybody who tried to attack me. I'd eventually like die three times, make a new one. I did this for weeks, and then I finally tried to work it up, and that actually wasn't as fun as what I was doing prior. But yeah, it's crazy.
As I say, my brother was the first on Bria, where I was his guardian. He was the person that went to work, like real life, that real life stuff. He went out and done things, and I would just make sure that he was all right. And he literally, all my full time Star Wars Galaxy's job was making sure he didn't die, because if you died as a Jedi, you went in deficit of XP, if you remember that. You didn't where you gain XP. If you die, you went deficit, so you'd lose. If you gained 500,000 XP, when you die, you lose 1.5 million.
If you died 3 times, you just like your character deleted. Was gone. Yeah, it was just gone.
Deleted. Yeah, that was never going to happen.
Bob, you should make a spin-off podcast just to talk about the Star Wars stuff.
Man.
But I'm there. Please, every week. Bob, me and you. Just me and you. We go Star Wars Galaxies talk, me and you.
Oh man, it was a fun time. But sorry, we didn't we didn't mean to take away from you, AngryDruid.
Oh, good. I remember when Star Wars was coming out. It was the WoW killer, and
no. That's Star.
It was
that's
pre-WoW.
No, yeah, you were thinking of the Old Republic. That, right, okay. Yeah,
we're
that was
about Galaxies.
Galaxies was before.
All right, I never played Galaxies, but I didn't play Old Republic either. But I remember it was during the time period of Cata. Right around Cataclysm is whenever the Old Republic was coming out.
And that's when I quit WoW. And I played that.
I play Star Wars. Yes,
and then I quit that and just never went back to MMOs until Classic.
Yeah, I ended up playing pretty much all the way through WoD actually before I quit like seriously playing retail. I actually completed every achievement in the game in Cataclysm and Warlords of Draenor and Mists of Pandaria.
100%?
100%. The Cataclysm was the only one I missed. I missed one. I missed the sound of how awesome I am, and it went into a feat of strength anyway, so it never. But yeah, I actually completed every single one in Cata and Mists of Pandaria and Cataclysm. I actually was in Asmongold's guild. It was before he was a streamer. We raided together. We were both into achievements a lot. We did a lot of achievement groups together. I'd say that was when I played Alliance. So I stopped playing Alliance now at that point. But yeah, I was usually number one on the server. What's that?
Playing Alliance. That's a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, I actually made a mage. I leveled a level 60 mage on Season of Mastery Alliance. So I do have that. But yeah, Horde. I liked Horde a lot better when I transferred over. It seemed like the mentality was a lot different. It's for the majority of players, not for all of them.
So you completed 100% achievements. How much percent of all of your achievements was the one achievement insane. Is that the right word? Is that the right
Insane.
insanity?
So the actual insanity title or the achievements that I did in general? Just what do you think was the most?
Well,
the
I'm just
that I went the most like sweaty on is what you're saying.
Kind of. I just felt like that would have been the most sweaty one. I was like, was that 20% of all achievements, or was that like 10%?
So there was a few that I had a lot of fun, even though they were sweaty. Like the bloodthirsty. Okay, I made
here. Hold on. For the listeners, tell them what it is, though.
So the bloodthirsty achievement. So in Wrath, you guys are going to have a 100,000 honor kill achievement, which is going to be it's going to give you of the Horde or of the Alliance, and you're basically going to have to kill 100,000 players. Well, it was either Kata or Miss. I don't remember. I think it was Kata. They added it 250,000 honor kills, which gave you the bloodthirsty title. Well, back in the day, there was a strategy. You guys might remember this. It was called the Rathamus strategy. And it was basically an AV group. And this guy was very famous on his battle group back in the original AVs. And he would hide behind the boss, the first boss. I think it was a Horde strat. And but he moved it over to Alliance at one point, and basically you would hide behind the boss, the first mini boss, and then as soon as the Horde or as soon as the opposite faction went in to kill it, you would just come in the back door, all like basically 30 to 40 people, and just wipe them up. So you would get them before they killed the boss, and then at that point, once they all were rezzing at the graveyard in the back, they would send back cappers to go make sure that they didn't res at that point. Well, you could choke them at a point where they couldn't leave, and they basically had only one way to go, and you could just farm like hundreds of honor kills per AV that way. And so what I did was this was back when they first originally started battle tags and battle nets and stuff, and they linked all the accounts together. Well, the bloodthirsty was the first achievement that was account wide. So what I did was I was already at like 100,000 on my one character, and I didn't have the time to do that, to do another 150K, or nor did I really want to. And so I actually bought 8 accounts or 7 accounts and added it to my main account battle tag. And I think the dog liked that idea. I'm not sure.
No, it sounded like you did.
But I actually put all those accounts together on the same battle tag, leveled them up, and at the time, one button macros worked, so you could just pop one button on all the accounts, and I broadcast it, and I was doing really good damage. And I would just go into the BG, and I was using OQ and the AVs, and I would get all my guys in there at once, and I'd multi-box, and every time we got one honorable kill, I would get 8. And so I was getting thousands of honorable kills per thing. And I also did that somewhat with pet battles as well. For like the 5,000 pet battle achievements and stuff like that, I kind of like would play against myself, or have my kid come in and play, stuff like that. So it was some of those things was that's the level of sweatiness I took it to, and the amount of try hard on some of those achievements. Some were just fun. Some I really enjoyed, like the doing heroics, when I quit was Hellfire Citadel. Some of those were pretty fun achievements to do. The challenge modes, like I said, that was some of the best things I ever did in the game. The wave 30 of the Proving Grounds, those are personal stuff, but
yeah, there we go.
Some things were good. Like there was so I don't play Death Knight. I played Hunter back in those times for achievements. My character name used to be Pazzi, Pazzi, or I had name changed to Snyder's because there was a potato chip company near me that was called Snyder's. But I ended up changing to AngryDruid just because now that I'm playing Druid, and I was playing hardcore, and I would get so mad when my character would die, I changed to AngryDruid. But anyway, that's how that changed. But yeah, so we so I got off my topic. I forgot what I was talking about there. Sorry. If you remember
Yeah, we were talking about
with the sweater, like if the insanity, what is the insanity achievement?
Yeah, I was talking about insanity and like if that took up way more of your time than anything else. Insanity, Mel, is where we'll just let the achievement hunter talk about it.
Yeah, what is insanity?
Okay, so insanity is basically, it's a title. It's called the Insane. They added in Wrath of the Lich King. It actually is it's easier to do in Wrath. So like there's some things that I prepared for already. Different achievements that I have a guild bank with all 6 tabs. And I've already filled it up with stuff that's preparing me for easier stuff in Wrath. So some things like the Insane, there's reps like the Chandra, which in order to get reputation with that, you have to turn in the Libram quest in Dire Maul.
How how many times? Like 100?
I believe it's like 86 times you have to turn in the Librams, and so there's things.
And Mel, these are the Librams he's talking about are like the ones you did for spell damage on your helmet, back in Classic, where we'd have to go to Burning Steps and dig up blood and different things. Or not Eastern Plague Lands, get the blood of the ancients with those level 61 dudes that can stun, knock you down, and silence you.
Yeah, so it's really annoying. So if you remember, they're unique as well, so you can only keep one in your bags at a time.
Or you could use the mailbox as a little cheat.
So in Wrath, they introduced the mailbox to engineers. So that's another thing that makes it easier.
Ooh, damn!
That you can bring an engineer with you, drop the mailbox after it's already been mailed up to you, and then you can go ahead and do that.
Wow, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
And you have inscription, so you don't have to farm the beast for your Ace of Beasts. You can just make it. It's going to make these cards go so much cheaper. Like these, the people that did it now, I really applaud them for doing it. I tend to like try to work out what's going to save me the most time when it comes to getting an achievement. And if I can do it in Wrath, I don't see the point in doing it now. If it's going to save me a lot of time. Right. There are certain things that right now, like things like just a tip for anybody that's going for things like this, the Hero of Shadowwrath, I would have every single item you need for that to be able, as soon as prepatch launches, to go ahead and switch your Scryer to Aldor or vice versa, just because when you get these reputation items that you need for those to transfer your reputations over, they're going to be super expensive next expansion, and there's not going to be a lot of supply. So like you want to look at what's going to make it cheaper and easier on you at this point, in your gameplay. And I've done that with a couple of different things, Yeah,
because it's super cheap at the moment.
I think I bought every single item I needed for like, I don't know, not even 1K. Like it was cheap.
Yeah. I mean, I've like gotten, just Scryer on multiple characters, so cheap.
One other tip, if you guys, if they ever do come out with transmog, or if they ever come out with, if you're ever planning on switching a profession, before you do the switch from Scryer to Aldor, make sure that you buy every piece of item from the vendor that is like transmoggable in some point, or if it is a profession you might go, just keep it in your bank, and that way you don't have to redo the rep later if you ever switch.
Wow. All right, well, so all right, so you've definitely been an achievement hunter for a long time. Why'd you come back to Classic?
So I leveled a hunter to level 60 in the re-release of Classic. It just wasn't for me to raid anymore. Like I didn't have time with work and everything else. I realized how in Classic the amount of time and effort you have to put in order to be able to raid was just too much for me.
Consumables and world buffs.
Yeah, and I mean, I was kind of like, I don't know. I was kind of messing around with Shadowlands a little bit, BFA. I only played very, very limited in those 2 expansions just to check it out. But then, the pre-patch for TBC was coming out, and so I boosted this druid this was a boosted character from their package deal. And so I kind of messed around with it, but I really only played the pre-patch, and then I kind of stopped. I got to level 61, and at level 61, I quit playing. I decided I wasn't going to play TBC either. And then just in I'd say December or January, I got back into TBC, and that's when I came. So I messed up as well. I went to an Australian server. And I didn't realize that it was an Australian server, and not that I care that they were Australians playing on it. I cared that.
They're horrible over there. Like all the Australians, Josh Corbett.
So fucking racist.
They're
fucking.
They're
racist.
a bunch of fucking cunts, right?
Well, what sucked was.
Hey, they use that word.
Wow.
Yeah,
no, that's not acceptable. They're my brothers. They're literally my brothers that just done a few things too wrong, ended up on an island. But anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they raid at different times. That was what really sucked. I'm trying to, I have to stay up till 9 in the morning in order to raid with them. So that was what sucked. I would have played, I liked the server I was on, but then I transferred. I tried to transfer to Fairlena. When I did that, it said I was locked to a 90-day server transfer. So that really bummed me out. Once you transfer in the game in TBC, you can't transfer again for 90 days.
Yep.
And so I was stuck on that Australian server for 90 days and not able to play with anybody. And then I almost quit.
Being in prison. Prison. The Australians know what I mean.
Yep. You're definitely on a prison colony right there.
Yep. And so I ended up finally being able, I had it on I have a whiteboard next to my desk here, and I had it on my whiteboard. This is the day I'm going to be able to server transfer off of this server and go to a good, a decent server. And I went to Fairlena, and that's it. From there, I mean, I've been making a community of collectors and things since then, and it was kind of by accident. I didn't really mean to do that.
Yeah, but the dog loves it though. So
he does.
All right, so
AngryDruid, have you seen? I just want to ask a real quick question. Have you seen
go
the
right away
Sandman on Netflix?
Have I seen what?
The Sandman on Netflix.
I just added that to my queue, actually.
And watch it, and then when he says about collectors, that think about him. Just trust me. Yeah. Think about the collectors, and then watch Sandman, and then this conversation might go very differently.
All right. Well, I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know.
I'll check it out for sure.
All right. Well, that leads us right into. Tell us about the group that you have created, and what you guys do every week.
Okay, so
currently,
this it started out when I got to Fairlena. I wanted to get Atiesh. That was my main goal. I thought that being on a server that I could raid with a lot of people, not being on a dead server, or people that raided at the same time period as me, is I wanted to get the staff. And I had always respected people in the game. Anytime I was in retail as an achievement collector, there were a lot of people I ran into that had the Atiesh staff back in retail. And I mean, it wasn't a lot, but it was the select few that I did. They were good players, and they were just somebody that were really into the game. And that's what I wanted to do. So I started doing a weekly Saturday Naxx Ramus run, and this is in TBC. And I thought, I'm doing GDKPs because there was a few other guys that were doing it on the server at the time, and they were doing soft reserves. And the chance at getting these shards was not what I wanted. I wanted GDKPs so I could buy them. So the first week I made a sign up. I made a Discord, and I'll let you know, I've never used Discord really before. This is the first time I've ever really, I've used it to talk to people, but as far as how a server works, stuff like that, I had no idea. I YouTubed everything that I learned, that I did with this server. And then
Dude,
so basically,
for anybody that doesn't know, running a Discord and running a good one is a pain in the fucking ass. Like just letting anybody. That's why we use the Mash Discord, because like we're not about to like try and like add more to our plate.
Yeah. So it turns out the first week I had maybe like, I don't know, 30, 40 signups. Week 2, I had 120 people sign up to this raid of Naxx. And I was just like amazed that many people wanted to do an old content raid. So what I did was after about 2 or 3 weeks of this, I decided to make a Sunday group. Well, the Sunday group just started filling up the same way, 120 signups. So at this point I was running two nights a week for this Naxx group. And when
was this during TBC? Because that trinket off the last boss was huge early on.
I think SSC was out. It was right around SSC, yeah.
So there were a lot of people wanting the what's it called, the urn, to get that trinket. Yeah. So you probably got people not even caring about achievements. They just wanted to have the chance of that trinket, right?
Right. And so like at this point, I'm running those 2 groups, and I'm actually getting tells and whispers in the game from the guys running the soft reserves, like the guys that had already had a pre-established, like they've been running soft reserves since vanilla, since classic. Like they're telling me like, why would you do GDKPs? Like they're telling me to stop basically doing it, and it was crazy. I didn't think that people would care, but some people on the server, and I started to pull people from their groups, not even intentionally, just because, the groups were going well. All of the groups were being, they were consistent. They were efficiently ran. The loot system was run good. There was no wipes. It was just we were doing things better than what they were doing on the server. And then I decided, okay, well, there was a group that was doing a World Tour Classic run. They were doing once a month. They were going through and running all the classic raids. So what I did was I decided, okay, let me reach out to these guys and tell them, hey, I'm going to start doing these classic raids, but every single week on Saturday. So Saturday I would do Molten Core, I would do Naxx, and I would do AQ40 and AQ20. And all this still happens to this day. I still do it. And we were doing that run plus Sunday. And then I decided to open it up again to a Thursday night run. And Thursday night, same thing was happening. 40 plus signups. We were filling up instantly, like in minutes. And then we decided we're going to do Blackwing Lair after Thursday night's Naxx. So now at this point, we're running Naxx 3 days a week. So now I opened it up to Fridays, and now we have 4 nights a week, 4 consecutive nights. Now, the biggest challenge was Tuesdays and Wednesdays is the hardest nights to get people for Naxx. It was, at least. And because, most people raid their progression group on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, for the majority, especially on Fairlina.
Or like Tuesdays and Thursdays too. Yeah.
Yeah. So at this point we had a 4-night schedule, and the groups are just filling up. I just decided, hey, we're going to go for it. I only had enough characters to do 5 lockouts a week, but I ended up putting out in my Discord, I'm hiring a raid leader. I had a guy help me out. He's pretty good. And he would give me cuts of the gold, and I would pay him to do the groups, because I organized everything. And so we decided to do 7 nights a week, every single night of the week for the last, since about April. I've ran Naxx Rammus, and I've gotten hundreds of people their sets. Atiesh staff. I actually wasn't the first one in my group to get Atiesh. BGs being so toxic, I got banned for 45 days because I was, being a busy father. I was AFKing in a battleground at a flag AFK, and I got reported.
Shame.
And,
Shame.
So it happens, Yep. It happens, man. But yeah, so I was like the 3rd one to get Atiesh, and going like we literally have been at this point, I could run 3 Naxx runs every single night, and I would be able to fill them almost instantly. Just that's so many players. I went from just wanting to get an Atish staff and doing a Saturday night run that I was going to stop as soon as I got my staff. I ended up just making it into a huge community, and there's I think there's 1,100 or 1,200 people in the Discord now. Like it's pretty much, it's blown up, and I've gotten a lot of love from the people in the community. It's just amazing because it's filled up with people that are collectors for the most part, people that are just really good players and have good attitudes towards the game. And it's been really great. Like I've just appreciated them so much in the community.
Nice. So, okay. So this is only on Feral Leader, right?
Correct. Yes. So I actually have already done the infrastructure to make it Alliance, to make Alliance into the server. Testing wise, we were talking about how I have the Alliance with the Hala tokens. I've kind of already added some Alliance in. They're not labeled as Alliance right now, but the Alliance from our server are in. Some of them are in there. Some of the bigger players that are the underdogs, they're in there. But I have definitely made adjustments in there for Alliance to Benediction would be the best server. If I got somebody,
I would love you to do it there because I would love to get in on this.
So what inspired me to actually the whole vision that I had of this? I wouldn't say it's a vision. I had no idea what I was doing. I kind of just winged it. But the open raid. Do you guys remember open raid? It was a huge. I mean, if you were an achievement collector back in say Cataclysm or maybe Miss, open raid was huge. It was this Facebook for WoW players. Blizzard shut it down. They didn't like it because it was a place you could go on there, and it was way better than their group finder system. You could go on there, you could rate people as you would have a 1 through 5 star rating, and it was just like the Yelp of WoW players, and people would make groups. Anybody could make a group. You could see what their rating was. You could see pretty much like I said, it was like a Facebook, and that's kind of what inspired me. It kind of gave me the idea to just keep building the community after that.
Huh. Yeah, well,
good.
And then there's the people like ScotteJaye who's going fresh. How could they get involved? This seems like it needs to grow to multiple servers here.
Yeah, so I would I would definitely be okay with putting in the work. I do all the work on the Discord myself. So when it comes to doing that, I think that the way I do roles in my server is I have reaction roles. So you join the server, and the first thing you'll see and the only thing you'll see is a channel that says roles, and you have to select what you want to see. If you want to see, there's a section for achievements, there's a section for mount farming, there's a section for reputation, there's a section for only Wrath of the Lich King content, there's a section for TBC Classic. I even did a special thing for my guys in the community. It's a special rank that I'll be removing from being able to be given out. It's called Naxx level 60 Raider, and you'll never be able to get that in my Discord after pre-patch. So that's a special kind of limited time thing I did for them. But you'll be able to see whatever you pick to see in the Discord, and it'll be the same with the Alliance and Horde that I have set up. Basically, you'll be able to say I'm an Alliance, I'm a Horde, and you'll be able to see those groups for that faction. And I could put in the work and definitely do that as far as to set it up server wide. And I think it'll help now that the servers, they've kind of made less of them. So I'll have less places to manage on that. And with pre-patch coming up, obviously I'm running Naxx 7 days a week. I'm a father of 6. And so I actually have quite a busy schedule. I have a full-time job. If you look, I don't know if I look tired, but I don't sleep on the weekends. I sleep from Friday night when I get off work. I literally stay up until like Sunday for the most part, and I just do stuff for like whatever I'm doing in the game. But
Wow.
yeah, so it
That's
is
nuts.
busy.
All right, so
Um,
Scotty, does this sound like something you would be interested in with your achievement background?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm I'm going for 100% achievements in Wrath.
Absolutely, Scotty. I think you would fit in perfect. Do you have any experience with Discord? Like, do you manage your own, or do you have like somebody that does it for you? I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, a little bit of both. So yeah,
A little bit of both. Yeah.
A little bit of both, yeah. I mean, I've started very many Discords, and then I go, Mel, please handle this for me. Bob don't mind, and then Mel does it all for me.
Yeah.
But no, look, I'm if I was to show you now, which I could actually, I literally could log on my account and switch cameras. But my original Wrath account has got 97%, I think 97% achievements in original Wrath. The
Wow.
only thing I was missing was it was PvP achievements. That was it. Like literally, there was 3% PvP achievements.
I think you would fit in perfect with the classic pug community is what we're called, and we have people that have leveled all 9 characters. We have people that have gotten ATS staffs on all 4 of the characters, all 4 of the different classes. They have tier 3 on all 9 characters. They have, people that just go insane with collecting stuff, and same thing with achievements. Those kind of go hand in hand for most players. And there's people that are going for 100%. I'm going for 100%. And I think if I can make this work here, what I was going on with the running Naxx 7 days a week thing is after prepatch hits, I'm going to be bored. I have nothing to do because I'm running Naxx every single night, and so that takes up a lot of my time. And not having to run Naxx anymore with level 60 content. It's over. Then I have so what I'm going to do with the Blackwing Lair run is I'm going to move the Thursday Blackwing Lair run to Saturday in place of Naxx. And so now I'm just going to raid that 1 day a week. The classic raid world tour will be once a week. And that'll give me 6 days a week that I can focus on whatever else I need to.
Well, and kind of where I was going with this is, I mean, this podcast reaches a lot of people. But if AngryDruid is really looking to push this to all the other servers, I think a ScotteJaye video kind of
it could help.
Promoting could be actually really cool, and you could find people that would lead the different servers, and we could all get in on this awesome movement. Like I just want it on benediction, like selfish, but like it would be cool for all the different servers.
It would definitely be able to help me, if I'm going to put in the work to make the Discord, like that, to make the Discord where every server is represented. It would help me to push that, to be able to be like, okay, this is definitely going to be worth the effort. And I think that the WoW community needs something like that. Open Raid helped me so much whenever I was doing achievements back in Kata and Mist of Pandaria. And so I would like that. That was the whole vision of this when I made it, just to have a place where people that want to do groups that are not that are kind of out of the ordinary, as far as let's say, doing a 10-man Drake run for Naxx Ramus is not something that, a lot of speed clearing groups, which, they're not going to want to do stuff like that. This is something that, can bring you to give you a place to be like, hey, these people want to do it. At this point, the community is kind of starting to run itself because when the community started, I led every single group in the community. At this point, after introducing, like the reputation farmer area and stuff, I have guys that'll just pop into the channel. It'll pop into the certain, like, say they're farming, I don't know, Goblin Rep, for the insane title. They're just making their own groups now, So I like that. That was the whole point, was to have a place where everybody that kind of had any kind of interest in the game to collect things or do 100% stuff would have a place to just come in and just post and find a group. And it kind of, my idea works better than the group finder they have in beta.
Yeah.
Does everything.
Well, okay, so
I've added you as a friend, AngryDruid. Let's hook up and we'll spread it.
Of course, I appreciate it, man.
Well, and spreading it here, how do people get involved? And anybody who wants to maybe take on the mantle of that server that they're trying to get in, anybody?
Yeah.
So where can they go to find you and to actually get involved in this achievement movement?
So, okay, the way I think it would work is each server would kind of have like a representative on the server. So when I add these in, as far as each server's, reaction role, I would have to find somebody who's like a representative, somebody who maybe even runs, if you run your community, your server Discord, because I believe each server has their own Discord, that's like the main Discord for the server.
Yeah, most of them do.
Somebody that could run it, their certain server, maybe just be an admin, maybe, help with, tickets or, stuff like that. The best way to contact me, I actually started streaming not too long ago, just because the interest, I play the game anyway. So I figure, why not just throw a camera on, put it on stream and see. I've done 2 streams so far. First one, I think I maxed out at like 12 viewers, not too great. The second one actually was pretty good.
Pretty huge for your first stream.
We had some pretty funny stuff happen in the second stream, and I got up to like 60 viewers, I think 50 or 60. We were doing pretty good. We had this guy in our Naxx run, and he just didn't understand the horseman fight, and I told him that he was going to be the healer on one of the horsemen in the far corner of the room. Well, he thought that meant immediately to run to that corner.
Oh, no.
And ended up pulling the horseman and ads, and it was just hilarious in Discord. I mean, it just was funny. Really good laugh. It actually was the craziest Naxx run I've ever had, because out of the hundreds of runs I've done, we had not only an Ashbringer drop, we had a Face of Death, we had a Hungering Cold, we had the perfect Naxx loot run. Things that never, you just don't see it. It was insane. But yeah, this week has been the luckiest week for me in Naxx. I've had 4 Ashbringers drop and in 1 week, and it's insane because I didn't see an Ashbringer for 3 months. So the luck is just insane there. But anyway, let me get back on the topic.
You're supposed to tell Bob. You're supposed to tell people where they can find the Discord. Like, do you have a link?
Yeah. So
he's getting there. Give him a chance. Give it 30, 40 minutes. It'll be there. Just give him a chance.
So the Discord is actually public. Because we have over 1,000 members, it's actually a public Discord now. So what you can do is Discord has a search feature, and with the tags and everything that I've put on it, you can search for Classic Pug Community. You can search for Wrath of the Lich King achievements. It'll come up. It's basically it's a public Discord. There's no link that you need to join. You don't need an invite link. Anybody can actually join it. There is another to get in touch with me.
Okay, what do they have to search to find this public Discord? He just said.
Classic Pug Community, PUG cool. Community.
Try it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Or you could search Wrath of the Lich King achievements. It comes up. It's the only one that comes up with that as well.
Good.
So yeah, it is. If you look, it's a picture of a perky pug with a pirate hat on it. That is the Discord little icon there. Yeah.
Awesome. And we'll definitely make sure to have that in the show notes too. And yeah, I mean, I think this could be really, really cool. And I think this could blow up if we get the right people in and you get the right people running the different servers. I think this could help everybody, because when you first got a hold of me, I was like, oh, this is awesome. Fuck,
Yeah.
they're on Faralina.
Yeah.
Damn it. It's like I was gonna jump in like prior, but I'm like, well, I'm on Benediction with all Alliance characters, you know. I would love to do this, but we have plenty of Faralina listeners, but I would love to see this branch out to others. Like, it would be so cool.
Yeah, I really think it could be something bigger too. You know, I even with the community with just Faralina, you know, like it's this big. I think that, you know, there's an interest. Alliance players are super into achievements. There's so many guys that are into achievements and characters that just want to collect stuff. So I'm willing to put in the work. And if, you know, your community and my community and Scotty's community, we're all willing to, you know, kind of help me a little bit with it, I'm 100% willing to put in the work to make it better for everybody.
Awesome. All right. Well, does anybody have any follow-up questions or anything final? Scotty looks like he's like, I'm ready for bed.
No. Well, Joy, no, but no, it's great. Nothing to ask. Quick, give me some more beer. Oh, wait, it's empty as well. What do you want me to say? Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yep.
Cheers.
Yep.
All right, guys, we're gonna start closing out the show. I encourage you guys to follow us on Twitter to know when we go live. That's WC Reloaded. You can follow the Mash Those Buttons Network at the Mash Network. If you want to send us an email, you can do so by sending to wcrpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to join our Discord and interact with us or the hosts of any show on the Mash Those Buttons Network, you can do so by going to mash.gg/Discord. I did notice there's been some chatter in there, so I'm going to check it more often. I'm sorry, guys. We told you to ping us, but like chatter's been going on, so I'm actually going to like check that Discord more. So thank you guys for that. If you want to send us a voicemail, that is 816-866-1066. Scotty's going to do that right after the pod. And how can you help the pod? You can help the pod by just like telling your guild, telling your guild is huge, spreading us around on Discord, on Reddit. Any of those things help. Just, you know, I mean, I still think the best way is to go to, you know, Walmart, take over one of the mics and be like, we have clean up on aisle. No, I love Warcraft Reloaded. You know, that's, you know, one of the other great ways to just, you know, get people to Google us. But yeah, that's the best way to help us. iTunes reviews, also reviews at bonusroll.gg that used to be warcraftradio.com. It's been changed. So yeah, those are all the ways to help us. Mel, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Mel Overwatch or in game on Mel Arena.
Okay. And AngryDruid, where can we find you? And put in all the different things that you think might be.
So you can find me on Discord, basically AngryDruid #9020. You can find me on Twitch at Twitch TV Classic AngryDruid. And then you can also find me in game on Faralina Horde at just AngryDruid, one word. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Awesome. And we will have all the links to his stuff in the Discord in the show notes. So definitely check that. ScotteJaye, Where can we find you?
I gotta be honest, I just turned up. I'm like that guy that was in the car park just wandering around, and Mel was like, "Oh, what time is it?"
Podcast.
Yeah, and then I just turned up. So I don't know. Look, if you find me, then it was meant to happen. If you don't find me, don't worry about him. That's it.
Well, and you can find me on Twitter at Blazin_Bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB. You can find me streaming on Twitch regularly now at BlazinBob. And yeah, we're going to get out of here, guys. This was a banger and love it. Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for checking out Warcraft Reloaded podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss any future content.